will start there. Down the line and numerically by senior player. Our Chaska senior players and their parents, our team managers and our cheerleaders that bring life to Hawks football games each Friday night. These athletes, students, and parents are ambassadors of Hawk pride and community spirit, and tonight we take a moment to honor them. This evening we want to acknowledge and introduce the parents of our senior players, who over the years have committed their time and their energy to help foster the football careers of their sons. Thank you to all of our senior parents for all that you've done throughout the years to support our senior Hawks. Ladies and gentlemen, on August 19th, the Chaska Hawks community lost a beloved member of our football family when Lance Brakey, father of Hawks senior lineman Hunter Brakey, passed away unexpectedly. Whether serving on the sidelines as part of our chain gang or cheering on Hunter and his fellow linemen, Lance was always a wonderful presence at Chaska football games. May you rest in peace, Lance. Along with introducing our football parents night, we especially want to recognize our senior players for their dedication to the Chaska football program. These young men have spent countless hours working out, studying film, and spending their summers at camp and two-a-day practices. Under Coach Brian Dahl's 4 pillars of discipline, attitude, toughness, and service, they have learned how to be good men as well as good football players. For these seniors, all of their hard work culminates in this, their final year as Chaska Hawks football players. And tonight, we honor them and thank them for their commitment to our school and our football program. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to our home sideline as we announce this year's senior players, managers, and cheerleaders, along with their parents. Number 3, Spencer Getz and his parents, Craig and Sue. Number 5, Zach Schaefer and his parents, Tony and Michelle. Number 6, Nick Snuggerud and his parents, Bo and Mary. Number 7, Grant Sussner and his parents, Jamie and Jody. Number 9, Gavin Erickson and his parents, Greg and Joy. Number 10, Tristan Perkins and his mother, Tanya. Number 13, Jack Frick and his parents, Craig and Missy. Number 14, Brandon Westover and his parents, Boyd and Alana. Number 15, Matthew Paul and his parents, JP and Megan. Number 19, Ethan Bachman and his parents, Troy and Angie. Number 26, Mitchell Heimer and his parents, Chris and Cheryl. Number 27, Dewandis Yalmans and his parents, David and Philosophy. Number 33, Nathan Schwartz and his parents, Joel and Sheila. Number 34, Jack Cox and his parents, John and Carrie. Number 36, Cage Montoya and his parents, Mario and Michael. Number 40, Reed Mathers and his parents, Paul and Rebecca. Number 55, Miguel Rodriguez Estudillo, along with his family, Alicio Estudillo, and Miguel's dad, Alfredo Rodriguez. Number 57, Isaiah Martig and his parents, Kurt and Annette. Number 65, Cole Rosengren and his parents, Rob and Tammy. Number 71, Josh Boffman and his parents, Chris and Erica. Number 72, Michael Langford, the son of Kevin and Katrina. Number 76, Cole Zweifel and his parents, Jeff and Ellen. Number 79, Hunter Brakey, the son of Lance and Melissa. Number 99, Yusuf Hamza and his parents, Lamis and Ahmed. Our senior manager is Jillian Bossert, daughter of Ryan Bossert. Sydney Grossklaus, daughter of Diane Grossklaus. Laurel Lang and her parents Doug and Colleen. Rachel Mercer and her parents Matt and Yvonne. Sarah Roble and her parents Steve and Amy. And our 3 senior cheerleaders, Anaya Burnett, daughter of Keisha Clark. Raven Mack and her parents, Terrence and Lakeisha. And Terry Nash and her parents, Terrence and Erica. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in a final round of applause for this incredible senior class of players, managers, cheerleaders, and their parents. At this time, we'd ask our parents to come back up into the stands. Thank you again to our Hawks family. Good luck to our class of 2021 seniors.
Body acting like they know me, dawg. Don't just say it down, you gotta show me what you gotta do. Bring the clip back empty. You asked to see the ball, so they sent me. Yeah. Back home smoking legal. I got more slaps than the Beatles. Foreign running on diesel, dawg. Playing with my name, this lethal, dawg. Who you say what? Don Corleone. Trust me, at the top it isn't lonely. Everybody acting like they know me, dawg. Don't just say it down, you gotta show me what you gotta do. Bring the clip back empty. You asked to see the ball, so they sent me, dawg. I just broke her off with a 10-piece, dawg. There ain't nothing, I'm just being friendly, dawg. Just a little 10-piece for it, just to blow it in the mall. Doesn't mean that we involved. I just put a Richard on the top.
Welcome to Chaska High School. It's senior night here at Hawks Stadium. Glad you've joined us tonight for a battle of 2-0 teams between the Chaska Hawks and the Orono Spartans. Hey, I'm Ryan Paul, along with my partner tonight, Mike Schmidt. We would once again like to welcome you inside the broadcast booth here at Chaska Hawks Stadium. It's going to be a good one tonight on this chilly Friday night tonight, Mike.
Yeah, it really is. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be interesting to see what offenses can get going with this weather. I know we've got a pretty strong wind going heading to the east, and it's getting chilly out here, Ryan.
Yeah, it's below 40 degrees tonight. We had about 40-degree temperatures last week. They've brought the heaters out here at Chaska High School, Mike. The first game we had unseasonably warm temperatures. Then we had some pretty moderate temperatures. This morning we had snow, and now it's in the 30s and maybe even the high 20s tonight.
Yeah, Ryan, this would be, finishing out the end of the regular season if we're playing a normal season of football. So, I mean, it's kind of, you got to get used to it. You got to adapt, and you got to game plan for it as well going forward.
Let's jump right into the Rome Team Realty keys to the game tonight, Mike. It's going to be a great battle in the trenches tonight on the lines.
Yeah, just watching warm-ups, one of the things I noticed was Orono's size across the board. I mean, they've got some big boys out there. Their biggest guy, I think, is their senior right guard, their senior left tackle, Shea Albright. He's about 6'4", 300 pounds. They also have tons of size across the defensive front, going 6'4", 6'6", 6 foot flat, and then 6'8".
So that's like we said, it'll be a great battle in the trenches tonight. And, another key we have tonight, Mike, is limiting those big plays. Chaska's had a couple of them this year. Orono's had a couple of them this year. Both teams on the defensive side are going to need to focus on limiting big plays. Two very good passing offenses, two not so good passing defenses by the numbers so far. Yeah, Matty Paul is a great passer. We know that. He's our quarterback. And their quarterback, Teddy Dieters, he's got a pretty big arm and electric feet. So, I mean, we'll look to limit the big plays. Anytime you're a favorite like the Hawks are, coming in ranked number 1 in their class, that's what the name of the game. You want to minimize big plays, play your game, ground and pound, wear out the clock, and just beat them by attrition. Hawks and Orono have been back and forth in the last 5-6 years. The Orono last beat Chaska at home in 2015. Hawks won last year 38-7 at Orono. It was Nick Snuggert at 5 catches for 84 yards was really the star returner of that game. These two teams evenly matched over the years, back and forth. We don't really know what to expect tonight. Yeah, I mean, anytime these two teams get together, it's two well-coached teams, first of all. Orono is going to come in. They're going to be disciplined. They're going to execute their game plan. They're going to do everything that they can to make sure
they control the tempo. With the Hawks, it comes in, they're very similar teams. I mean, both teams have big outside wide receivers, good, quick slot wide receivers. They run a lot of 3-4 wide and a lot of pass option reads. So it's going to be interesting what we see here, Ryan.
Matthew Paul on the year, 56% through the air, 152 yards. Hawks are going to have to rely on him tonight and the receivers. Ethan Bachman leads the district in receiving yards with 157 on 9 receptions.
And I'd expect him to go out and maybe cross the century mark tonight and hopefully get into the end zone. Like I said, Orono, they've got a lot of size on their defensive front, and they've got a lot of size in their defensive backs. I mean, they've got a safety that's registering at 6'6", 220, number 19, senior Beltran. And then their outside corner, Ryan Rudd, is 6'4", 190. So they've got a lot of size. I don't see a lot of speed outside of Gavin Gustafson. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of matchups we can develop, put our size against their littles, or maybe put our speed against their bigs, and just see if we can go out and get them.
Another note that you were sure to make was the kicking battle tonight. It's Nick Snuggerud as well as Jack Coleman, two guys who are extremely good kickers here in the suburban district.
Yes, these are probably the two best kickers we're going to see all year. Obviously, we've talked about Nick Snuggerud plenty of times. He's been great. Warming up, I saw Coleman get real close. He's probably going to be good from about 40 yards tonight, which is a big, big weapon for that offense. He's already 5 of 5 for field goals this year. Snuggy, watching in warm-ups, he looked like he'd be good from about 52.
Yep.
Which is
what he made at the state tournament last year.
Yes, it is. And in this weather, with this wind, that's incredible. Watching warm-ups, like I said, he was kicking from about right around our 30-yard line, and he was good for about another 5-6 yards. So I would look for them to take advantage of that, and this game might come down to a field goal.
Getting ready to kick things off here tonight from Chaska Stadium. Once again, I'm Ryan Paul, joined tonight by Mike Schmidt here. Chaska's third home game in a row. They were supposed to be on the road last week, but due to COVID-19 issues, they rescheduled the game for Armstrong to Chaska Hockey Stadium. Say before we get things going tonight, we do want to remind you that the keys to the game were brought to you by the Rome team at Edina Realty. If you're looking for the keys to a new home, let the Rome team use their expansive network to find your next home. Go to www.rometeamrealestate.com to get in touch with Emily and Jan. On that note, if you'd like to download a digital copy of tonight's Hawks Game Day program, go to www.chaskahawksfootball.com and click on the image of the Game Day program cover to open up tonight's program to access rosters, player pictures, including senior baby pictures, and even a note from Hawks head coach Brian Dahl. Additionally, we'd like to give a big shout out to the Chaska Touchdown Club for providing the support for tonight's live streaming. If you'd like to help offset the cost of tonight's broadcast, go to www.chaskahawksfootball.com and click on the donate button. All proceeds go to benefit the Chaska Hawks football program. The Touchdown Club is a 501c3 organization. This is Hawks football brought to you by Swagelok tonight. Our game presenting sponsor is Swagelok. And Mike, as we get ready to kick things off here, it's kind of a toss-up tonight, I think. Two great teams. What's your game prediction for tonight?
You know what? It's going to be close. It really is. It all depends on the line of scrimmage. If we can maintain the line of scrimmage, I think we'll be just fine. I like our skill position players a little bit more than I like theirs. They do have some good football players out there. Number 1, David Wilford. We're probably going to be calling his name a lot. He might not touch the ball a ton, but he's their fullback. He plays more of an H-back role where he'll move within the offense. He might line up at slot wide receiver. He might line up outside. He's going to be their lead blocker. And he also plays middle linebacker. Just watching him in warm-ups, I can tell that he's one of the leaders on their team. As far as the Hawks go, this is a situation where if I'm Jamie Sussner, I'm doing everything I can to get the ball into my playmakers' hands as quick as possible. We know that we might not win at the line of scrimmage with all the size that Orono has up front, but if we can get the ball outside and get our guys moving side to side, we should be fine.
Hawks and Spartans doing battle here tonight. We're ready to kick things off here in about 30 seconds. If you've just tuned in, you will be able to go back and watch the senior night ceremony that was pregame back at watchchbn.com. And additionally, at halftime, we will be playing a slideshow honoring this year's senior football players. Obviously, senior night here tonight. The Hawks and Spartans getting ready to duel here from Chaska Stadium. The Hawks won the toss and elected to kick, kicking towards the south. Beltran is back to receive for the Spartans, and Nick Snuggerud, one of the top kickers in the state, as we mentioned in the pregame show, gets ready to boot things with a hoodie in his back.
Yep, I'd expect a big kick here. Maybe send it in the end zone or get it down inside the 5. It's not like last week where they had the athletes in the back that could bring back the opening kickoff. So I'd expect a big kick here, hopefully burying Orono deep.
Officially 6:59 at the time of the kick, 33 degrees and clear. We have some snow that's been pushed off from last week. and or from earlier this week, and we are getting ready to kick things off. Snuggerud's kick is a pooch to the near side. Bounces at the 30-yard line and stays in bounds. Great bounce. Chaska forces Orono back to the 10-yard line. Received there by Noah Arnson, the senior, and Chaska gets a great kick off of a pooch kick. Not what we were expecting to see there.
Well, I guess they learned their lesson after last week. You know, they started off with the opening kickoff touchdown return. So they went with the Snuggie Pooch, which, like we talked about last game, is a weapon. I mean, we get the ball down, looks like to the 12-yard line, which is exactly what we were looking for, burying them deep early.
Coming out at the quarterback position for the Spartans, Teddy Dieters, the senior. He started last year, his second year starting, 143 yards on 13 completions so far this year for the Orono senior. Dieters hands off up the middle. The give is to Aiden Mueller. He's the workhorse at tailback tonight for the Spartans. We'll call his name a lot. 55 carries for 209 yards already on the year with 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, he runs a lot like my old backfield mate, Greg Lane. Aiden Mueller, he runs hard, he runs quick, and as soon as he can get north-south, that's when he really starts to move. He's not great laterally, but that initial line, he's a one-cut runner, so that initial line quickness is really where he makes his money.
2nd and 7 here, just 30 seconds into the ball game. Dieters in the shotgun, has Mueller to his left. Orono goes 4 wide. Draw play up the middle once again to Mueller. Mueller breaks through the first line. Has a block up the field, up to the 40, where he's strung out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Aiden Mueller, the 6'1 junior, who's tied for 7th in the district in rushing yards, has a big one here on 2nd down, and it moves the chains for the Spartans.
Yeah, he gets it out to the 40 here. Our linebackers have their work cut out for him, as well as our defensive line. Big Cole Zwiefel is going to have to eat up blocks here to keep our linebackers clean, because they are slightly undersized, especially compared to a line like Orono's.
Just a minute in here from Chaska High School. Ryan Paul, Mike Schmid with you here on WatchCHBN.com or Chaska Community TV, Channel 14. Glad you've tuned in tonight. Orono with 2 plays already, one of them a first down and a big sprint by Aiden Mueller up the middle. Here's Teddy Dieters now in the backfield. Another draw play, same play. Mueller bounces off a tackle, but he's wrapped up there by the Hawks. Spencer Getz comes in to finish the play. The initial tackle was by Christian Rolfe, the junior.
Yep, Spencer Getz is going to have his work cut out for him tonight with the size of this offensive line as their move outside linebacker. He's got a lot of responsibilities. I would expect to see a little bit more motion from Orono going forward. Right now, we've come out with a double set, 2 wide receivers on each side. They like to move that number 1 wide receiver who's working out of the slot right now. Like I said, as the inside linebacker or as an inside blocker. So keep an eye on that.
Spartans 2nd and 4. From the 45. Draw once again up the middle to Mueller. He's met at the line to gain, but he gets a second push across midfield, and it will move the chains for Orono. Yusuf Hamza in there on the tackle, but Mueller got a second push to give him the first down.
Yep, Hamza and Rolfe were in there, but they just couldn't quite get the stop. Hawks might have to dial up a couple blitzes here going against this heavy offensive line and just trust their veteran defensive backs, whether it's Susner, Frick, Montoya, Schaefer. They're all seniors. We might have to trust them on the outside to be able to handle the talent on the outside from Orono.
Hawks defense on the rush this year has only allowed 43 yards. They allowed negative rushing yards against St. Louis Park in the season opener. 43 yards on 20 attempts. Orono sticks to the ground. Drawn out in the backfield, though. Great tackle by the Hawks. Yusuf Hamza once again gets his name called, and it's Mueller who's back behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 1.
Great job by Hamza there to scrape off his block and not get too far upfield, but shuffle down the line of scrimmage and hold the line to gain.
2nd and 11 upcoming. Ball on the Hawk on midfield. I went down and checked the turf before the game. I know you guys had a game out here last night, Mike, with the freshman team. It's a little bit harder, but, not a super significant difference.
Yeah, it's with this field turf, it's so much better than the stuff that I played on growing up. I mean, we played in basically a dirt pit the second half of the year, so this field turf is super nice to have, especially this late in the year.
Handoff up the middle once again. Great tackle by Getz and Erickson at the 50. Looks like they'll give him a gain of 1, but the 2 Chaska seniors combined for a great hit there on Mueller.
That's a good job by the up front, just, keeping the offensive line intact, allowing the linebackers to do their jobs. Right here is where we'll probably see Dieters get to work. He might be on the move here. I would expect maybe a roll right, get him some options with the 3rd and 10.
Dieters, as I mentioned, the team's top returning rusher from the year, had 107 yards rushing in the season opener versus Benilde.
Hawks have to watch out here because he can take off and move a little bit too.
Dieters off the right side, short of the line to gain, but it's close. Looks like it'll be 4th and 2. Erickson with the push out of bounds, and here's a decision here for offensive coordinator Rusty Olson from Orono.
Yeah, 4th and 2, maybe 4th and 3 here. It's interesting to see what they'll do. If I'm a coach, I'd probably play it a little conservative and maybe get a kick there and bury the Hawks deep and just see what the defense can do. It looks like they're going to come out and be aggressive, but watch out for a pooch punt here by Dieters. I've seen him do that in the past.
Dieters had a couple pooch punts last year. I know in the game, I watched tape again from our game at Orono last year. He did it a couple times. Spartans dropped 2 down on the wide side, nearest us, audible at the line of scrimmage. Dieters, silent count, draw up the middle, give it back to Mueller. Hawks fans calling for holding, and this one is going to come back. There's laundry at the 40-yard line. Orono thinks they have a first down, but it looks like it'll be 4th and long.
Yeah, Spencer Getz did a good job of sealing the edge there. The tight end had nothing he could do. He had to hold. Otherwise, the play would have been dead in the backfield.
It is holding on the Spartans with 7:46 left here. A first down turns into a loss of 10, and it'll back the Spartans up to around midfield, where they will now trot out the punting unit. Coleman, you mentioned him in the pregame. Jack Coleman, the junior, is the kicker tonight for the Hawks, as well as responsible for the punting duties, and he stands at his 35-yard line here, ready to boot this one to the Hawks. Snuggerud back at the 20 for the Hawks. Punt is botched. It takes a bounce, an Orono bounce at the 30-yard line, ends up rolling inside the Hawks 20, and it will finally settle at the 15-yard line. So an originally bad punt turns out to be A-OK inside the 20-yard line for Jack Coleman, and that's where the Hawks will take over for their first possession of this ball game.
Yeah, the Hawks brought quite a bit off the left side, hoping to get that blocked there. They just barely missed it. I believe it was number 14 on that, Westover, who just barely missed the block and unfortunately took an Orono bounce. Let's see how the offense operates coming out against this big defense.
Matthew Paul, the senior, trots out onto the field. We mentioned it in the pregame show. 56% passing so far this year, 152 yards, had 121 over the air in the season opener against St. Louis Park. He's got his senior teammate DeWandis Yeomans in the backfield. Yeomans, 107 yards, 3.3 yards a carry, Mike. That just goes to show you how hard ground and pound this Chaska Hawks offense is here.
Yep, and there it is up the middle with Yeomans. He's done a great job of creating his own yards so far this year. He hasn't had a lot of opportunity to get out and pop a big one, but he's more of our grinder anyways. That's what we want him to do. We want him to go out, get 4, get 5, get 3, get 4, get 5. That's kind of how the offense is built, to just wear down the other team. Right now, Orono's got 2 offensive linemen and defensive linemen that are both going both ways, so let's see if we can wear them down.
Hawks have depth in the running back position. They can go to this junior Boyle as well as the junior Carver Miller. They need some extra legs. Hawks look through the air. Paul over the middle connects for Carver Miller up across the 35-yard line, and it's the first down of the game. Carver Miller's first catch of the night.
Beautiful strike by Matthew Paul there. He looked off the safety, who is one of the big guys. That's Beltran. Like I said, he's 6'6", 220. He looks off that safety and then hits Carver Miller on the backside with a perfect strike. Carver Miller continues to impress so far in the early of the season.
Something that we didn't talk about in the pregame show is this Orono defense. Not great with the pass defense. Have allowed over 300 yards of passing this season. Paul, play action up the middle on the jet sweep. It looks like he might have dropped the ball at the 40-yard line, and Orono believes they have it. We'll see what the official call is. Paul had the keeper up the middle. Ball may have come out prior to him hitting the ground, and the officials have yet to make a signal.
Yep.
Looks like the Hawks will keep possession. Second down, Hawks get away with one there.
Yeah, I'm just happy Matty was able to get up. He took a big shot to his knee there from the side, so it's good sign that he popped up there and he was able to keep the ball in his hands.
2nd and 9 after the first down through the air. Hawks go for it again. Paul rolling out to the wide side. This throw is short as he was flattened at the 35-yard line. Intended on the far side for Miller again.
That was big, Andrew
Bachman,
Mandel.
rather.
He's 6'8", 230 pounds. He's playing defensive end for Orono. It's going to be tough to move the pocket and get it established. I like the opportunity, or I like them taking a shot to Bachman on the hitch. We've seen that work in the past. Hopefully we can get that going. It might not be with a moving pocket next time, though.
So 3rd and long after Paul's first incompletion of the night.
Something I'd maybe look for here is getting Matty moving towards the defensive end, making him make a decision, and then quick pass out to a slot wide receiver.
Orono's defensive end, 6'8", 6'6" on the depth chart. Snugrud in motion. Paul rolls out once again, dumps off for Yeomans behind the line of scrimmage. Yeomans at the 40, and a check down is short, well short of the line to gain. It'll bring up 4th and long for Chaska.
Yeah, Chaska's offense just kind of feeling them out right now. They try to get a little bit of motion going with Nick Snuggerud, who I'm sure Orono has scouted and knows that we want to get him the ball. So they try to get those linebackers moving. Orono played with discipline, and they were able to lock up the screen.
Well, an area where Chaska has struggled so far this year is on the offensive line. They've had 2 sophomores starting due to Cole Rosengren and Hunter Breaky both out with injuries, and when the Hawks need to pass tonight, the offensive line is going to have to step up.
Yeah, Cole Rosengren is down on the sidelines right now in a wheelchair. He just had knee surgery to fix his ACL. He's talking with Hunter Brackey, who's another senior. He's dressed up tonight but wasn't able to practice this week, so he should be back next week.
The Snuggerud punt is away. It's a good one. It takes a bounce at the 15-yard line where it's fielded by Orono. That's Beltran. Beltran dances around for a couple seconds at the 15-yard line, but he's brought down by a slew of Hawks punt defenders. And Orono pinned back inside their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, it's kind of just been a field position game so far. Both teams are feeling each other out. Like I said, they're both great teams, and they can throw a heavy punch. So this is pretty typical of a game with Orono and Chaska. Look for them to turn it up a little bit here in the passing game with Dieters. They kept it on the ground for most of the first drive.
4:58 to go here, first quarter. Ryan, Paul, Mike Schmid with you here. Orono, formation-wise, has spread it out so far tonight. They go 4 wide once again. Just under 5 to play here, first quarter. Handoff once again for Mueller, but Spencer Getz sniffed that one out with ease.
I think Orono was just seeing what kind of look they were going to get out of Chaska there. They had the double stacked low on the screen here on our side, and Spencer Getz didn't really widen out at all, being there to make that play wrap up and keep it for a short gain. Watch for Orono to maybe pop something outside now if they get that same look.
Spartans gets a pass tonight. Average 103 through the air per game, just under 200 on the ground through their 2 games. Spartans have beat Benilde and Robbinsville Cooper, you were saying.
Yeah, they haven't seen a defense like the Hawks yet,
right.
So we'll see.
Option off the right side. Dieters keeps. Dieters across the 25-yard line, just short of it, where he's pushed out of bounds. Dieters the second rush tonight for the Orono Spartans.
Yep, he's able to gain 6 there. It looks like the Hawks rolled into their cover 3 coverage right there. So they should have had a perfect play. They rolled the safety down into that area, and his responsibility is the flats. I would have liked to see him be a little bit more aggressive, get downhill, and try to make a tackle on that.
Third and a couple, rather.
And Bachman's in at outside linebacker.
We've seen that on the depth chart. 3rd down, Bachman will see some playing time in the defensive front. Dieters, keeper once again. He breaks loose. Dieters across the 50. Dieters has one man to beat. Grant Sussner's chasing him down. Sussner tackle at the 25-yard line. Not before, though. A Teddy Dieters rush of 40 yards, and it puts Orono in good scoring position here inside the Chaska 25-yard line.
Yeah, he got out on the option. Spencer Getz had to make a decision. He chose the pitch man. Dieters kept the ball and got upfield. Nice play by Sussner to get downfield and make the tackle late. Those are the kind of things we're going to need to start limiting. The outside looks like it's open right now as the Hawks are dedicating to stop the run inside. We'll see if we can, maybe get a little pressure inside just organically so we can work on our outside defense.
Dieters 16 rushes, 126 yards coming into the game tonight. He stands in the backfield with his tailback Mueller to his right.
Be ready for number 1 to go into shift here.
Wilfert, the block on the outside, sets up well for a Dieters keeper. But the Hawks get a hit on him at the 20-yard line. Be 3rd and 5.
Yep, that's another 4 yards. The Hawks they've got to minimize that. They've got to slow that down. Dieters right now, he's looking like a lot like the quarterback we faced last week. Was it Osimile?
Yep.
Yes, he's looking
Osman.
a lot. Osman, yes, he's looking a lot like that. He's pretty slippery and he's a good runner as well as passer. So we're going to have to work to contain him and keep him in the pocket.
2nd and about 5 here. Ball is on the 20-yard line. Spartans split out 4 again. 3 wide receivers, Wojciechowski, Aronson, and Beltran, as well as fullback David Wilfert, are split out wide. Tailback Mueller in the backfield. We have a whistle, and we'll get a timeout from the Spartans. Perfect time to thank our sponsors for tonight. Ladies, if you're looking for comfortable, fashionable, and fun clothing, check out Allison Turner's LuLaRoe Boutique in downtown Chaska. The store is located at 113 East 2nd Street in Chaska, or call 952-380-7032. That's 952-380-7032. Wear what you love and be you at LuLaRoe. Also want to thank Twin Cities Orthopedics. Twin Cities Orthopedics is trusted by some of the biggest names in sports, and they bring that same level of care to the athletes of all ages here in our community. No injury is too small. Walk into any of TCO's 8 orthopedic urgent care locations, open 8 to 8, 7 days a week, including in Waconia. Visit TCOMN.com to learn more. TCO is proud to support the Hawks football team this year. Soar Hawks. Finally, we want to thank the Rome team. They've helped thousands of families expertly transition into a new home. Emily and Jan are known for their service, integrity, and results, and they'll partner with clients to prepare, price, and sell their homes. Whether you're buying or selling a home, put the Rome team to work for you. Go to www.rometeamrealestate.com. So, Mike, just over 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Hawks have shut down tailback Aiden Mueller well, but they've struggled to contain the quarterback, Teddy Dieters.
That's what you get when you get that, that option route. Everyone's focused on 20 right now, and number 4 is running a little bit wild. This has kind of been the Hawks' MO, though. It's more of a bend-don't-break defense than anything else. They're not going to make a lot of big splashy plays, but they also won't give up too much. Watch for them to lock it down here as we get into the red zone.
Coming out of the Orono timeout here on the Swagelok Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Dive up the middle by Mueller. Team of Hawks there to bring him down. Getz already his 3rd tackle of the night. He has 7 tackles on the year coming into the game and 2 sacks. Getz on the outside linebacker has been a huge part of that Chaska defense this year.
Yep, 3rd and 2 here. Look for the defensive coordinator for the Hawks to be aggressive with his linebackers, maybe send a couple blitzes and trusting his 2 senior safeties to be able to handle the slot wide receivers and the corners outside.
.230 to play here. Dieters one in the backfield. Option to the right side once again. Tackle for the Hawks. A great hit. Looks like Grant Susner on the far side. Orono gets a first down, though. Moves the chains.
Yep, there it was with number 1, the senior middle linebacker and fullback / slot wide receiver / wide receiver, Wilfert. He can move us in, gets a good block there on Getz, seals the edge, and they get the first down.
So Orono attacking the Hawks through the ground tonight. Not something we were particularly expecting to see, but it's pretty common to high school football to start out the game on the ground, at least, especially on a cold night like this. Orono on the far hash, right around the 13-yard line. Dieters 5 yards back in the backfield. Draw up the middle to Mueller, maybe a gain of 1 or 2, but he plunges right into the Chaska defensive front.
That's a good job by the heavies up front to hold that line of scrimmage. It looks like Getz was in on another tackle.
So 2nd and 9-ish here inside the Chaska red zone. No score yet here on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Ryan and Mike with you. Watch CHBN.com and Chaska Community TV Channel 14. It's parent and senior night here. Want to remind you that at halftime we will have a special presentation for our seniors here airing on Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. And if you want to view the senior night ceremony, which took place prior to the game, you can go back and watch CHBN.com after the game. Another draw up the middle to Mueller. This one good for about 3 or 4. Gets back in there on the tackle along with a couple of other Hawks.
Yep, another good job by the Hawks to maintain the line of scrimmage. That's what they're going to have to do for the remainder of the night to get that rushing game slowed down, forcing Dieters into a passing role. if I'm Orono right here, they're probably what I'm expecting from them is maybe a slant with 11 and a fade route with 19. Number 19, like I said earlier, he's 6'4", 220 pounds. Or 6'6", 220 pounds, excuse me. That's Graham Beltray. He's also their safety. And Noah Arneson, he's their good slot wide receiver. So watch maybe a fade slant combo here on the bottom half of the screen.
3rd and 6, under a minute here in the first quarter. Pass out to the near side into the end zone. Caught for a touchdown by Noah Arneson, the senior. Orono strikes first. Dieters to Arneson for 6.
Arneson's had a big year so far. Looks like we were in straight-up man coverage there for the Hawks, and we just got beat on the inside leverage. Like I said, Arneson, so far this year, he's got 113 yards, 8 catches, and a touchdown, making that 2 now. He's the guy that we're going to have to focus on defense on the outside.
Coleman in for the extra point. He's missed 1 this series, 2 for 3. Good snap, good hold, and the kick is through. So Orono on the board first here tonight. 7-0. Chaska, after getting 1 first down on their first offensive possession, allows a touchdown on their second one after we talked about it in the pregame, a big play from Teddy Dieters.
Yeah, that big run really, set them up for success going down the field. And then they just ground the ball down inside, and then they hit their star wide receiver for the slant as soon as they got inside the 10. I'd like to see a long Hawks drive here. I know the defense has been on the field for most of the first quarter, so let's see if we can establish the run, get a nice long drive, and maybe get some points on the board.
48 ticks to go here, first quarter. Parent and senior night here on the Swagelok Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Ryan, Paul, Mike Schmid with you. Coleman out to kick for the Spartans. Hawks will send Carver Miller back deep for this one. No Nick Snuggerud out there on this kickoff return.
All right, let's see Carver Miller if he can maybe get one cut, find a seam, and get downfield and get us some good field position. Hopefully we can have it out to about the 40.
Hawks allowed a touchdown on the opening kickoff last week. Would love to have a return of their own here to get back even with Orono. It's 7-0 with 48 seconds left in the first quarter. Boom from Coleman at the 10-yard line. Miller fields it. Miller tripped up at the 30-yard line, and that's where Chaska will take over here once again for their second offensive possession.
Yeah, it looks like he was looking to get upfield, and he ran into senior Jack Cox, who's looking for a block. I'd like to clean it up here for the Hawks. That's kind of the name of the game right now. This is exactly how they came out last week. They came out a little slow. They got hit in the mouth, and then they responded late, but it wasn't until late in the second half. I'd look for them to answer right now.
Hawks did come out slow. They were down 12-0 at halftime before scoring 19 on the answer to beat Armstrong and end up 2-0, which is where they sit coming into this game. Orono also 2-0, had victories against Benilde and Robbinsdale Cooper. Those are blowout. The first one was a blowout victory. Last week's win over Cooper 22-13. Paul from the 30-yard line. Handoff to Yeomans up the middle. Yeomans blows through a couple of tacklers up across the 35 to the 36. Yeoman's good for a 6-yard gain.
Mike Langford, Josh Bowman really moving the line. Leo Smalley doing a good job as well there as we get that 6-yard run. That's really what we're going to need to look forward going forward as we continue to go throughout this game. That's kind of in the Hawks' MO, their bread and butter. Grind the ball, and then hit something big outside.
2nd and 6 here. 10 seconds to go before the quarter break. Paul gets the snap. Play action. Clobbered as he throws. The ball drops incomplete. Coming in to smack Paul was Connor Chappelle, the senior. Nobody touched him off the left side.
That's the second or third big lick that Matthew Paul has taken so far in this game, and I don't like to see that. We do have to do a better job of containing outside. So far, the pressure up the middle hasn't been what's gotten us. It's been big 89 and big 81 out there for the Orono Spartans defense.
Ryan Mercer, the junior, at left tackle tonight. 6'2", 235, going against that big D end. Connor Chappelle, 6'6", 220. Last play of the first quarter, handoff up the middle. Jack Boyle. Boyle across the 45-yard line. That's good enough for a Hawks first down and more. And Chaska ends the first quarter on a first down. We'll be right back from Chaska High School after these quick messages from our sponsors. You're watching Hawks football on the Swagelok Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network.
Swagelok of Minnesota, North Dakota, and Appleton are proud supporters of Chaska Hawks football. At Swagelok, our solutions are designed to perform under pressure, just like our Hawks football teams. We congratulate the Chaska Hawks on their 2019 state championship and wish them the best of luck this season.
Back from Chaska High School, Hawks, the first play of the second quarter was a plunge up the middle for a 3-yard gain.
Yep, it looks like that was Boyle again, who finished the first quarter with a really nice run to gain the first down. Look for a little bit more counter action from Chaska. Get those big defensive linemen moving, thinking, and bringing those, the trap blocks in to get them out of the hole.
Paul in the pistol. At his own 45, Hawks now working right to left across your screen. Deep ball just dropped out of the hands by Snuggerud. Paul put it on the money, but Snuggerud had a body in his face and couldn't haul it in.
Yeah, I think Snuggerud would like that one back. That was an absolutely beautiful pass by Matthew Paul there. Put it right into Snuggy's hands, and he couldn't make the play. Number 11 was in on the coverage there. That's let's see here. That is Noah Arneson, the same guy that scored the touchdown in the last drive. He's going to be one of their studs on Orono. He did have pretty good coverage, but the pass was so good. I thought we'd sneak it through. You're not going to see Snuggy drop too many of those.
Orono has quite a few guys that do go both ways tonight. I think I counted maybe 4 or 5 of them that are starting. We're in the starting lineup both offensively and defensively. Third and long for the Hawks. Paul from the backfield has an open receiver. That's Bachman on the near side, and he completes around the 36-yard line. Bachman, his first catch of the night, and it's good for a Chaska Hawk first down.
Yep, Death Taxes and Matthew Paul to Ethan Bachman on a 10-yard hitch. That's going to be there for them all game. 11 was on him there. Arneson again, and he was still able to make the play. They have to respect Bachman's speed and size. He's 6'4", 180 pounds. He runs about a 4.5 40, so they can't let him beat him deep. So that's why that hitch has been so effective so far this year. I think that's the 4th or 5th ball he's caught like that.
10:55 to go, as you said. Death Taxes and Paul Bachman. We've been saying that for how many years, Mike?
Yeah.
Draw up the middle to Yeomans. Yeomans a good one, scampering across the 35 to the 33. Yeomans good for 6 or 7, and it's good to see DeWantis getting the ball here in the opening stage of this game. He's a guy who came into this Chaska program, hadn't known a lot of these guys until high school, and he's getting his work here in this varsity season for his senior year. Yeah,
Yeomans, what he is, he's a tone setter. He's that big running back that comes out there. He runs hard. He makes sure the defense knows that if you're gonna tackle me, you're gonna have to bring it.
2nd and 4. Paul goes back to Yeomans. Yeomans across the 30. First down and more. Yep. Paul, good sell there, and on the option, and Yeomans makes the Orono defense pay.
I like what I'm seeing right now. It looks like Jamie Susner, the offensive coordinator, what he does is he takes a deep shot with Snuggy, and then he goes into more of a power offensive look with a fullback in there, and they run ISO football, which is a really, really clever thing to do as an offensive coordinator. You show them that you can beat them deep, even though it wasn't successful. The Orono coaches know it was there, and they have to respect it, and then you go into more power football. It's really great job by Jamie Susner.
1st and 10, a fresh set of downs for the Hawks. Paul in the backfield has Yeomans with him. Paul looks straight to Snuggerud on the near side. Actually, it's DeSalt on the near side, rather. DeSalt, his 2nd reception of the year, moves Chaska about 5 yards closer to that first down.
Yep, I'd expect more good things from DeSalt. He's a really, really good athlete. He's tall, he's agile, he's quick. He just hasn't gotten a lot of work so far this year. So we expect him to get more involved as the season progresses.
Not a guy who we've called his name a lot, but definitely a threat out there, standing at 6'4", the junior. Definitely an option here as Chaska lines up for a 2nd and 5. Hawks go with the hard count, and they get him. Whole slew of Spartans moved. Looked like Andrew Mendel, the 6'8 senior on the far side defensive end position, was the one to get the call. And it looks like he'll give Chaska first down at will.
Yep, good discipline there by the entire Hawks team. I'm really proud of the two sophomores out there for staying put, Leo Smalley and Caleb Rector. I know last year they probably would have jumped having coached them.
9 and change here, second quarter. Ryan, Paul, Mike Schmid with you here. Mike York on the production tonight. Appreciate him coming out on this cold Friday evening in Minnesota. Hawks go I formation. Yeomans and Boyle in the backfield. Paul in the middle of quarterback. Paul hands off to Boyle. Boyle breaks off a tackle up across the 10-yard line.
Great job by Boyle there to read the blocks and then just be patient. His patience there is really what got him those extra 2-3 yards. He shuffled with his block, and then got upfield when he could. We're getting into territory where the Hawks like to run the Wildcat with Getz at quarterback, so keep an eye out for that.
Gets 3 touchdowns from that Wildcat formation this year. 11 carries, 51 yards. Had a touchdown versus Park and 2 last week versus Armstrong. Not in the game on this 2nd and 5. Paul and Yeomans in the backfield. High snap. Paul hands off. No, it's a fake. Paul rushes into the end zone, dives with a pylon, and he's in. Matthew Paul for 6 points. The Hawks score.
You know, that's something that Matthew Paul has really improved on over the last couple of years is his ability to move with the ball in his hands. The first game of the year, we saw a nice 40-yard run downfield. There we see him get a long read on that option and then pull it and go take it into the pylon or find the pylon for 6.
Now, it's no secret that he's my brother, but if I would have told you coming into this varsity season that Matthew Paul would have a diving touchdown through on the ground, I would have told you you're crazy. Nevertheless, it's 6 points for Chaska. And with 8 minutes to go, Nick Snuggerud is in to tie the game with the point after. Snuggerud, a surefire extra point kicker, is up, and it's good. Only extra point Nick Snuggerud missed last week, and it was partially blocked. So Chaska ties the game here with the Paul rushing touchdown at 8:03 of the second quarter, Mike, and that's something we like to see from the Hawks, moving the ball, get an offsides call, and they score on the ground.
Yeah, that's exactly what we talked about when they were kicking off to the Hawks. Is I'd like to see a long drive where we can wear out some clock, get those guys that are going both ways with their hands on their hips, breathing a little heavy, and that was a nice. Looks like it was a 7-minute drive.
Yep.
Gotta love that as an offensive coordinator, as a head coach. The offense came down. They imposed their will. They were able to move the ball inside. They were able to open up the passing game a little bit, and then they just finished with a nice run by Matthew Paul.
Gives us time to thank Swagelok of Minnesota, our presenting sponsor tonight. Swagelok of Minnesota, North Dakota, and Appleton are proud supporters of Chaska Hawks football. At Swagelok, our solutions are designed to perform under pressure, just like our Hawks football teams. We congratulate the Chaska Hawks on their 2019 state championship and wish them the best of luck this season. So after the Paul touchdown, Snuggerud comes in to boot it deep. Orono will send up Beltran and Aronson deep, the two seniors.
Yep, their two deep guys are around the 20. I'd expect Snuggy to maybe kick this one deep, and he does.
Both of them backpedal. It's a line drive kick. Bounces. Orono fakes the reverse. This is Beltran. Beltran gets swallowed up at the 25-yard line. A great play on the far side by the Hawks kickoff coverage team. Grant Susner up in there again. Susner has been a great tackler since he was little.
Yeah, Grant Susner going in there and just battling. He's tackling a guy that's 6'6", 220 pounds. Being able to square him up and get him to stand still, that was just a great play on special teams by the Hawks.
So Orono takes over, 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line.
Let's see if Schwartzy can get in here and cause some havoc.
Those two corners for Chaska so far this year, Nathan Schwartz the two outside linebackers for Chaska this year, Nathan Schwartz and Spencer Getz. Fumbled snap, ball's on the ground. Chaska swallows up Teddy Dieters in the backfield. I think you'll lose 1 or 2. Nathan Schwartz in there on the stop. It looked like it was Rolf, though, who's having a phenomenal game from that middle linebacker position. Rolf in there to cover up the Orono quarterback.
You know what? That was exactly what we saw last week. We saw the Hawks go down to start the second half, get a nice long drive, score a touchdown, and then a fumble on the snap. Last week we were able to recover it. Looks like Dieters was able to pick that one up. Nice job by Rolf to minimize the damage there when he was able to get it. We've seen too many times where the quarterback's been slippery in the backfield when we've had him dead to rights. So nice job on finishing that play by Rolf.
2nd and long here for the Spartans following the botch snap. Handoff up the middle. Mueller up across he's just short of the 30-yard line. And if you have never seen Grant Susner tackle tonight, watch him tonight. That was another pile drive into the ground. The Hawks wrestler putting on a clinic tonight. Wow.
Susner, I think, had probably the best game of any defensive back of the Hawks last week. He had that nice interception. He had 2 or 3 great tackles. He's really had a great year so far.
Susner tied for the team lead with tackles this year, 12, tied only with middle linebacker Gavin Erickson. He had an interception earlier this year and playing a great game so far tonight, 3 or 4 of his own tackles already. 3rd and 6-ish for the Spartans. Dieters from the shotgun. Option play, handoff. Off tackle for Mueller. Mueller dives across the 35-yard line. Going to be close with the spot. Looks like they'll give him the first down. And Orono moves the chains here on their 3rd possession of the game.
Yep, they gave him the first down there. He was able to get outside on our cornerbacks. It looks like we do need to set the edge there. You got around Schaefer, number 5. I mean, Dieters is quick, so that's going to happen, but you got to have inside or outside discipline. Try to force him inside so Frick can make the play before he gets to the line, the first down.
6:20 here, half number 1. Ryan and Mike with you here, Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network, www.watchchbn.com. Appreciate those of you watching on Chaska Community TV 14. If you are looking for a high-definition broadcast from Chaska Community TV 14, you can go to watchchbn.com. On the ground comes Dieters across the 40, and he's up to the 41-yard line, brought down there by Gavin Erickson, the senior for the Hawks.
Yep, Gavin Erickson doing a nice job of scraping down and making the play. Susner coming down from the safety position and helping him out.
Rolf officially getting credited for at least half a tackle there.
That's only if you believe Erickson. All right, Chaska needs to get a stop here. We got 2nd and 5. I'd like to see him dial up a blitz here, be aggressive on the outside. You know, maybe getting Erickson up the middle and just taking a look because we really haven't seen Dieters open anything up so far yet. It's been mostly damage on the ground.
Orono comes quick out of the huddle. Play clock was running down. They're forced to take their 2nd timeout of the half. So with 2nd and 5 upcoming, we have a moment to thank Qdoba, a longtime sponsor of Hawks football. Qdoba Mexican Eats is located at Highway 41 and Pioneer Trail in the Chaska Commons. Qdoba has been serving up flame-grilled, handcrafted, and made-in-house Mexican Eats for over 20 years. Don't forget to take advantage of the $8 meal deal when you show your Chaska Hawks Hawk card. Stop in or order online at Qdoba today. Also want to thank the team at Lifetime and Jeff Zwiefel for your partnership with Hawks football over the years. Whatever it is you need to pursue in your healthy lifestyle, Lifetime is there for you. Stop in or visit a club today at the website at lifetime.life for more information. Also, a side note, just been informed that we're on the air at Hazeltine National Golf Club tonight. Obviously, I'm on the turfgrass team at Hazeltine. Want to thank everybody there for tuning in tonight. Great place and great people over there at Hazeltine. Mike, so far it's been a pretty even contest here on the field this Friday night, Chaska and Orono.
Yeah, it's kind of looked like exactly how we expected. You know, it's been very similar on both sides of the ball with both offenses, you know, running the ball up the middle out of that, you know, short shotgun set. Both defenses, you know, struggling, just trying to get it feel it out. They're trying to feel it out, stop that heavy run. And you know what? It's going to be the team that is willing to open up and maybe take a couple shots. It's going to pull this one off.
Orono coming out of their 2nd time out of the half, had to avoid the delay of game call. 2nd and 5 upcoming here. Dieters in the shotgun formation. Low snap. Double option. It's a reverse coming to the wide side. Jack Frick sniffs it out, but it's handed off to Graham Beltran. Frick in there on the initial stop. Looks like it's going to be close, but short. So Orono goes with some trickery there on 3rd and manageable, and it pays off to an extent, but still going to be 4th down.
Yeah, Jack Frick, senior captain, senior safety, one of the fastest, most athletic guys on the field, coming downhill to get the stop before the line, before the goal to gain there. That was a really impressive play by the senior. Being able to break down and tackle somebody that's 6'6", 220 pounds on your own is not easy.
3rd and 1. I said 4th and 1. That's not right. It's 3rd and 1 here from the 45-yard line. Orono goes up the middle, but Mueller bounces it outside. Mueller up to the 50-yard line, and that'll move the chains. Chaska had the hole stuffed in the B gap, but Mueller bounced it outside the defensive ends and got the first down up to the 50-yard line.
It was a great job of getting penetration on the play side there by the Hawks. They just couldn't finish. It was a nice run by Mueller to bounce it outside, and another good tackle by Rolf.
1st and 10, 4.5 to go here on senior parent night from Chaska High School. Thanks for tuning in wherever you are. I know Heartbreakers has the games on the TVs across the street.
I've got a friend or two there watching, I believe.
That doesn't surprise me. Mueller the carry up the middle. He's up for about 4 yards to the 46-yard line. Finally brought down by Nathan Schwartz.
Good job there by Schwartz. It looks like they only gave him one on the gain.
Must have had a knee down before he hopped up at the 46-yard line.
Yep, I think he's kind of crawling forward there. Hawks need to stop here bad because as soon as they get to about the, inside the 30, that's field goal range for their kicker, Coleman.
Well, we saw Teddy Dieters on the first couple of drives break out some bootleg keepers on the wide side. We haven't seen that on this drive. You almost wonder if it's coming here. Orono spreads things out 4 wide once again. Draw up the middle. Orono will go through the air. Dieters looking deep. Dieters looking for Aronson. It's caught by Noah Aronson at the 3-yard line. And a big play from the Spartans puts them in the red zone and scoring distance on the Chaska defense.
It's just what you talked about there, Ryan. Dieters, just being patient, taking his shot. Schaefer had good coverage there, just mistimed his jump and wasn't able to play the ball in the air. And there was Arneson again. He's going to be their wide receiver. I mean, you look at it on paper, and he's 6 foot 180. They've got big Graham Beltran out there at 6'6", 220. You'd expect Beltran to get the ball, but it's been Noah Arneson that's been doing most of the damage.
Dieters through the air tonight. Dieters 2 big plays tonight. One through the air and one through the ground. Passes complete on the near side to Beltran, but he was out of bounds. Caught it while he was in bounds, but then landed out of bounds, so it's an incomplete catch. But Orono back-to-back passing plays here after the big play by Teddy Dieters to Noah Aronson.
You know what? That was a great play by Grant Susner. He saw the wide receiver catch the ball in the air. He forced him out of bounds to get the incompletion. That was just a nice, smart play by a senior.
2nd and 5. 2nd and goal from the 5. 3:10 to go.
Let's see if the Hawks come out in a man here, if they go more zone, and also who matches up with Arneson. Looks like a man look.
Handoff up the middle. Goes to Mueller. Mueller across the goal line. Touchdown, Spartans. Orono strikes back. 5-yard touchdown scamper from the Orono junior, Aiden Mueller, for his 5th touchdown of the season.
Yeah, the Hawks linebackers are probably going to hear about that on the sidelines from their coach. They just didn't wrap up and didn't finish on that play, allowing him to scamper in off the right side for a touchdown. I'd look for them to clean that up. It really was kind of undisciplined football. They look to do some arm tackles, and that's not going to work with Mueller.
13-0 pending the Coleman extra point. It is up and through. So 2 scores to 1 here tonight to open the first half from Chaska High School. 3:05 still to go. Chaska will have a chance to go back-to-back possession with a score, but Orono striking on yet another big play. It was one of our Rome team keys to the game tonight. Orono has 2 big plays that have led to scores.
Yeah, the Chaska defense is really built to, if you're going to have a nice drive, it's going to have to take 7, 8, 9, 10 plays, and you're going to have to be clean. That's what the Hawks did last year. That's what they did there. That's what they've been doing this year is we're not going to let you beat us on 1. You're going to have to beat us on 10 good plays, because we're going to out-execute you. So seeing this, it's kind of, it's something that right now I can see on the field the defense is getting a talking to right now. The coaches are going to clean that up. Hopefully we can find some success in the second half. Right now what I'm interested in is how aggressive is the offense going to be. We're kicking off to start the second half. We have 3:05 left to go. I'd like to see them open it up a little bit.
Brian Dahl, the defensive coordinator, also the head coach for the Hawks, giving his team a talking to after Orono's 2nd touchdown of the night.
It looks like we got Miller back deep again.
Yep. Snuggerud, Chaska's kick returner on the card, but juniors Kemp and Miller trot out there on this one, as well as Grant Susner on kickoff return. So Coleman, 5 for 5 on field goals, 3 for 4 on extra, or 5 for 6 on extra points. No goodness.
And that one was blocked that he had.
Yep. Boots it here to Chaska. Miller forced to take a couple steps back, fields it at the 5-yard line, up to the 20 with quickness. Miller breaks free, and he's finally brought down at the 39-yard line. A 30-yard return at least for Carver Miller, the Chaska junior, and it sets Chaska up with solid positioning here with under 3 minutes to go.
That was a great job by Carver Miller and the entire kick return team in their blocking. He got outside the far edge and got out to the 37-yard line. That allows the offensive coordinator, Jamie Susner, to be a little bit more aggressive. If you're pinned back in your own zone with 2 minutes, 3 minutes left, sometimes the coach, they're settled with playing, a little bit more conservative style. I'd look for the Hawks to come in and open up. Now they got 3 minutes left. They got good field position. They got all 3 timeouts.
Hawks set up here from the 37-yard line officially after the 32-yard return from Miller. Paul in at QB. Yeoman's in the backfield. Paul back to pass. Has Bachman down the sideline. Just overthrew him, though. Bachman had Noah Aronson in his face. Couldn't run his full route. Paul overthrew him marginally. And it's incomplete for 2nd and 10 now.
They've taken 2 deep shots at Noah Arneson. I'd like to see them get a little bit more aggressive on the other side of the field. We know that it looks like their other corner right now is Michael Wojciechowski. He's not as quick as Arneson, and he probably can't hang with Nick Snuggerud one-on-one on the bottom of the field. So take another shot.
Handoff up the middle to Yeomans on 2nd down. Yeomans breaks a tackle, and he's up across the 45 to the 46-yard line. DeWandas Yeomans another 8-yard gain, and it puts Chaska at 3rd and short now.
It was a great run by Yeomans. I wish he would have finished it downhill with his pads. He got dancing a little bit. That's not his bread and butter. He really needs to just get downfield, lower the pads, and get that extra yard or 2. That would have given us a first down and a chance to, open up the passing game. Now we have to bring in our big heavies and try to earn this yard or 2.
Hawks 216 yards on the ground per game through 2. Spencer gets in here on this Wildcat formation now on 3rd and short. We've seen this for the Hawks on short yardage situations, and it pays off here this time. Spencer up to the 49-yard line, and that'll move the sticks with just over 2 minutes to go here in the first half.
Yep, and it looks like we have some clock issues going on right now because it should be running.
No,
I'd expect
not
it to
with
be
the
the
first down.
second. Yeah, okay.
Stops for the first down now to run, yep.
And it looks like
what do you know about high school
I don't
football?
know anything. I just played. I don't know the rules.
Paul back in here at QB now. Hawks go 4 wide, send Miller in motion to the far side. Paul back to pass. Quick shot for Bachman. Caught at the 45-yard line, and he's pushed back to the 46. We'll bring up 2nd and 6. 2nd and 5.
There it is again, Ryan. They took their shot again, but it was at number 11, who we know is one of the best players on Orono. I'd like to see him open it up on the other side of the field. Anytime Bachman's not lined up with 11, I'd like to see him take a shot at Bachman.
Arnson listed as a strong safety. He's been shadowing Bachman all night. Paul throws on the run, completes to Bachman. What a play by the Hawks. Paul was scrambling as the pocket collapsed, and he found Ethan Bachman at the 17-yard line for a completion and a Hawks first down.
Those two have been playing backyard football for about 10 years now, and it goes to show. I mean, Matty Paul creates a little bit of time with a little hitch in his step in the pocket, maneuvers, and then delivers a nice strike outside of a nice back shoulder throw to Ethan Bachman. He's able to gain about 20 yards there.
So the Hawks in great position here with 1:20 to go in the first half. They're up at the 16-yard line. Paul goes I formation once again, has Yeomans and Snuggerud in the backfield this time. Carver Miller in the slot. Bachman on the near side. Snuggerud the carry up at the 20-yard line, running east to west. Orono wants a hold, but they're not going to get it. Carver Miller had a good block out on the far hash, allowed Snuggerud to get back to the original line of scrimmage, but no more.
Yeah, it was good defense there by Orono. Nice job by Nick Snuggerud to get all the way to the sidelines, recognizing the situation, getting out of bounds with only 1:15 left.
Hawks trying to tie the game here with 1:15 to go, as Mike said. Big play by the Hawks. Paul to Ethan Bachman for the 25-yard completion. Set the Hawks in the red zone. Now it's 2nd and 10. Hawks go through the air again. Paul looking for Bachman. It looked like it was thrown just behind him. Maybe Bachman lost it.
I think it was just out in front of him in there, and Arneson almost had a diving interception. It looks like Matthew Paul he's tapping his chest saying, my bad, my bad. Looks like he just let that one rip a little bit too early, and Bachman wasn't able to track it down.
1:11 to go here. Hawks go with the heavy set. Paul comes off the field. Spencer Getz will run the Wildcat formation from the quarterback on this play. A little bit of a longer set here for this one.
Yeah, it looks like they might be content with taking a field goal into half. I mean, I wouldn't rule it out for Spencer Getz to be able to get out and run this ball down for the 9 yards we need.
3rd and 9, and we'll get a timeout. I don't know if Orono was happy with what they saw, and they'll take their 3rd timeout. Orono was packing the box, as they should have with the formation that Chaska had in, but with 1:11 to go, the Spartans take their final timeout of this first half.
I think what the Spartans were worried about a little bit there was Spencer Getz jump pass. He catches the ball.
Yep.
You just have a tight end leak, get a quick jump pass. It looks like Chaska's going back to their original offensive set, and I think that was the kind of the game plan. Orono recognized they called the timeout. Jamie Susner is right to change up the game plan.
Susner back this week on the field after missing last week due to family obligations. Tony Happ called the plays, got his first win as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Absolutely.
He really did. He picked his spots. Me in the booth, the players on the field, we want the ball in the situation. Like, if we see a situation, we want that immediately to come to fruition. If I see someone I can beat as an outside wide receiver, I want the ball. Coaches do a good job of playing chess instead of checkers. They see that. They recognize that. It's not that they're ignoring it. It's that they want to take their shot at the right time.
Susner came over from Benilde St. Margaret as the offensive coordinator just a couple of years ago when just after Brian Dahl took over at the head coaching helm. Paul back on the field for this 3rd and long. Over the middle to Bachman, caught. We'll see if it's enough for the first down. It's going to be close. Looks like it might be just short. Bachman didn't quite get to the line to gain, and it's going to be 4th and about 2 yards from the 7-yard line.
I like them being aggressive here. They're sending out the big heavies. Getz should be able to get this. Coles-Weefel's got to get a nice push here as well.
50 seconds to go in the quarter. The clock would stop with a first down if the Hawks get it. 4th and 2. Payoff play here for Chaska. Have enough time on the play clock. We get a timeout called. Looks like Brian Dahl called for it as he wanted to stop the clock. They let 10 seconds run off, but with 40 seconds to go, Chaska will have a second to chat it over. As this is more of a situation where we expect the Hawks to go with that big, heavy offensive set.
Yeah, it is. And you know what I think that I would have liked to see there is them go on 2 in that situation. We got 41 seconds left. We've got 2 timeouts left. Time shouldn't be too much of an issue when we're down right around the 5-yard line. I would have liked to see a hard 2 count there, get that first down, get the clock stopped, and then we could move the ball forward and then leave that same offense in and continue to pound the ball.
Hawks averaged 98 yards through the air tonight. They have nearly surpassed that with the couple of completions that Matthew Paulus had to Bachman and one to Colin DeSalt. Gives me 1 second to say that if you're watching tonight, we would appreciate it if you would tweet or Facebook your photo of your current setup. Hashtag CHBN. Tag hashtag CHBN with where you're currently viewing from, and let us know where you're watching Hawks football tonight. We're available on WatchCHBN.com, Chaska Community TV 14, and a couple local businesses around town. We appreciate everybody's support of Hawks football this year, obviously, in some uncertain times. Back on the field, Spencer Getz lined up in the Wildcat quarterback position. 41 seconds. Coming out of the timeout, it's a high snap. Broken play, and Spencer Getz will not get the first down. So Chaska had it all lined up, but it came down to the botched snap. Snap was over the head of Spencer Getz, bobbled it off the fingertips, and Orono holds no score for Chaska after the solid drive down the field.
Yeah, that's disappointing. They had a great drive downfield. They had time to operate, and all they needed to do was gain 2 yards for the first down. We've seen Getz get it countless times. I don't think he's been stopped from getting 2 yards from that Wildcat position so far this year. So it really is kind of disappointing to see that from the rough snap.
Getz had 2 touchdowns from that formation last week against Armstrong, had 1 against St. Louis Park for a total of 3 on the year. Was hoping for his 4th or at least a first down on that one, but if play fails and Hawks turn it over on downs and bring the defense back out with 35 and a third left.
Let's see if we can dial up a little bit of pressure here, maybe get a stop in the backfield, cause some havoc.
Teddy Dieters, the senior, back out on the field, hands out to Mueller. Orono without timeouts. They're going to try to get as many yards on this one as they can. Looks like Mueller was forced out of bounds. Clock is still running. The clock should be stopped, but it is still running.
No, but it looks like it was short of the first.
No, but they pushed him out of bounds.
They did.
Not sure why the clock is still running. Looks like
the
might have a
officials are
discussion
gonna
about
take
this.
that.
There should be about 26 seconds on the clock.
I would expect Orono to be happy with the first half.
Yep.
They're up by 7 on the state champs. They get the ball out to open the half, and their offense has been rolling a little bit. Hawks need to do a better job basically just controlling the trenches and limiting the big plays. It's exactly like we spoke about in the Rome keys to the game.
So a brief stoppage here as we need to reset the clock. I think there should be about 26 left. The issue is that the clock didn't stop as Aiden Mueller was pushed out of bounds. So we'll get the referee to come over here, to the Chaska sideline and have him radio up the correct time. Chaska coaches will jog over to the scorer's table just to the right of us here in the press box. Official tonight, head referee Andrew Aller with the white hat tonight. We want to thank all the MSHSL officials who are working through these uncertain times here to support high school athletics being played. I talked to John Summer, the Chaska athletic director, who has done a phenomenal job working through this uncertain COVID time, and he said we will have a section playoff. The section final will be the Saturday after Thanksgiving if Chaska does get through the first 2 rounds of sections. Seeds 1 and 2 will have a bye in the first round, and then we will play on from there. They'll put 24 seconds on the clock here, and we will resume action. We will, side note, plan to live stream those section games once they come about if Chaska has a home game. Road games are a different scenario. We should mention, as Dieters carries and will run out the end of the half, we should mention that Chaska's next game is on the road at Chanhassen. CHBN will not be carrying that game. It will be a separate live stream done by the Chanhassen TV station. However, you should be able to watch a live stream of that. We will pass along more information about that game next week. The Chaska game was originally scheduled for last week. Chanhassen had a positive COVID test, so it's got moved to next week. And we will pass along any information about that game at watchchbn.com, also on Twitter at RyPaul21. After one half, Mike, 14-7, the Hawks drove down on their last possession of the first half. Were stopped, though, by Orono at the 5-yard line. Hawks have looked okay so far. Orono's just played a little better.
Yeah, you know what? That was a nice positive. It didn't end the way we wanted, but it was a nice positive momentum builder going into the second half, knowing we can move the ball on them through the air and on the ground. I'd like to see them build on that. Maybe take a couple more shots. I mean, the Hawks offense has been pretty conservative so far, but I think that now we got to feel for where they're strong and where they're weak defensively.
We'll have a special 20-minute halftime. The teams are being allowed to go inside the building tonight, which is unusual for COVID protocols, but Chaska High School will be following COVID protocols as the teams head to the locker room, so they'll give them an extra 5 minutes and change, and we will step aside for an extended halftime show. First, a word from our sponsors, and then a special tribute to this Chaska Hawks 2021 senior class. You're watching Hawks football on the Swagelok Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network.
I don't think there's really one moment that starts a comeback. We have the ability to overcome anything as long as we're surrounded by the right people.
I need a good group of people to trust, to work on my body.
I'll be back and I'll be stronger than ever.
I go, who are you? He goes, I'm the guy that's going to save your life.
Comebacks imply returning to where you once were. I want to go where I've never been.
Hawks Football would like to thank these great sponsors. Swagelok, a proud supporter of Chaska Hawks football. Qdoba Mexican Eats, bringing flavor to people's lives. Lifetime, the healthy way of life company.
Swagelok of Minnesota, North Dakota, and Appleton are proud supporters of Chaska Hawks football. At Swagelok, our solutions are designed to perform under pressure, just like our Hawks football teams. We congratulate the Chaska Hawks on their 2019 state championship and wish them the best of luck this season.
Good evening, Chaska football fans. Tonight we want to take a moment to give some special recognition to our seniors and our parents. To our parents, Chaska football, thank you for your support over the years. Everything you've done for your kids and for our program, we can't thank you enough, especially during this season, all the adjustments we've had to make. We thank you for your work and appreciate everything you do for your kids. To our seniors, thank you for all your hard work, your dedication to our program. Over the years, the 4 years, the time, the energy you've given to practice and how you've come out and handled yourselves and played in games. We appreciate your flexibility during this crazy time, your ability to just adapt and adjust and kind of taking on the control, what you can control and making the best of it. We appreciate that very much. I just want you guys to know we're so proud of you as a whole staff, our school and our community, and know that you'll always be a part of our Chaska football family and our program. Thank you for everything you've done.
I still find Wiley's house, riding on my bike with eyes closed. I could name every girl that he took out, and from my memory dial his house phone. Can you take me back when we were just kids, weren't scared of getting older, yeah. 'Cause no one knows you like they know you, and no one probably ever will. You can grow up, make new ones, but truth is there's nothing like old friends. 'Cause you can't make old friends. I still feel the windows down, listening to Jimmy Eat World, riding 3 wide on Blake's bench seat, yeah. My God, it's been 10 years now. I would have his back tomorrow, and he'd still fight anyone who tried to touch me. Can you take me back when we were just kids who weren't scared of getting older, yeah. No one knows you like they know you, no one probably ever will. You can grow up, make new ones, the truth is there's nothing like old friends. 'Cause you can't make old friends. I've got some good friends now, but I've never seen their parents' back porch. It wouldn't change how things turned out, but there's no one in this time zone who knows what inline skates that I wore. Can you take me back when we were just kids who weren't scared of getting older? 'Cause no one knows you like they know you, and no one probably ever will. You can grow up, make new ones, but the truth is that we grow up, then wish we could go back then. Nothing like old friends. Like when I close my eyes and don't even care if anyone sees me dancing. Like I can fly and don't even think of touching the ground. Like a heartbeat skip, like an open page, like a one-way trip for an aeroplane. It's the way that I feel when I'm with you. Brand new. John Cusack, like making big mistakes. I feel like for the first time in a long time, I am not afraid. I feel like a kid. Never thought it'd feel like this. Like when I close my eyes and don't even care if anyone sees me dancing. Like I can fly and you don't even think you're touching the ground. Yeah, like a heartbeat skip, like an open page, like a one-way trip on an aeroplane. It's the way that I feel when I'm with you. Brand new.
Tonight's game is being live streamed at www.watchchbn.com or on Chaska community members who subscribe to Comcast Xfinity can find the stream at Chaska Community Television Channel 14. You can scan the QR code on tonight's roster sheet to access the 2020 Chaska Hawks Football Media Guide.
right off the bat to to really get a jump start on the second half. If I'm Jimmy Susner, I'm looking to open it up a little bit. We did keep the ball on the ground quite a bit, and we did find some success later on. And we do have, Orono's got 2 offensive linemen and defensive linemen going both ways, so they're going to be wearing down. So I'd expect them to keep the ball on the ground, but maybe take a shot or two opposite of Arneson, like we said in the first half. Arneson's been their stud. He's their best wide receiver. He's their best cornerback. I'd look for them to isolate a wide receiver like Snuggerud or Bachman on the other side and maybe take a shot.
Hawks just coming out of the halftime break. The clock's running down, but they will add 3 minutes to the clock at second half. Don't ask me why they do it. We did have an extended halftime tonight as the teams were allowed to enter the school. Orono was put in to each of the Chaska 4 locker rooms. They were spaced out amongst those rooms, and then the Hawks went into the back gymnasium at Chaska High School. So 30 degrees here tonight, Mike, and Chaska's had some success through the air, which they struggled with last week. Hawks had less than 100 yards passing. They're probably just around that mark tonight.
And that was more of a game plan situation than it was really the passing offense struggling. The passing offense hasn't really struggled at all this year. It's just that it's been underutilized. Just like last year, we had the capability to throw. We just didn't need to use it. I'd look for them, again, to open it up here in the second half. They're down against a good Spartans team. One thing that I've noticed in this first half is this has been the cleanest game we've seen so far. Neither side has really made a mistake outside of the snap, and that snap's been the difference in the game. That's the 7 points that Chaska's missing right now. So look for the game to remain clean, but when it opens up a little bit, that might give the Hawks a little wiggle room to make some plays.
Paul for Chaska came out firing in the first half, a little bit different than what we've seen as far as play calling goes, as you alluded to, Mike. The Hawks threw the ball several times, had a couple big plays, but Orono also had a couple big plays. It was one of those roam team realty keys to the game that we talked about. Orono and Chaska both defensively have to limit the big plays. Both defenses struggle with defending the pass.
Yeah, it's like we talked about. We talked about it before the game. We talked about it in the Rome keys to the game. That's going to be the difference with 2 teams that are this evenly matched and have this much discipline. Like I said, it's been a clean game. The big plays are what's going to decide it. You're not going to get a lot of turnovers here because both teams have veteran quarterbacks who know exactly what they're doing and they handle the ball well. So that's what it comes down to. It's going to take 1 or 2 big plays instead of those 8-10 play long drives that are going to lead to success. About
90 seconds coming before we come back here. It was senior night and parent night tonight, Mike. I know both you and I have been around this senior class for probably going on like 8 years now or whatever it is. A couple words from you about this senior class as 2021 is wrapping things up here in a couple months.
The kids are amazing, but the parents they've been amazing to me as well. Honestly, every single one of them has been so nice. I started coaching these kids when they were in about 4th grade along with Jamie Susner and Troy Bachman, and I just wanted another shout out here. Lance Brackey was one of the nicest guys I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. His son Hunter's a senior. He's missing this game. Hunter's a great player, but we lost Lance in the offseason. It's been a tough year for Hunter with losing his dad, coming up injured here. Hopefully he can get back on the field next week. But honestly, Lance, every time I saw him, he had the biggest smile on his face. He was the nicest guy I've ever met. He always remembered my name. He was always the first parent to volunteer to help. And, it's just a huge loss for their family, the Hawks program, and just the community.
The Hawks honored him tonight, the pregame parent ceremony, and they honored Lance, who, as Mike mentioned, passed away unexpectedly. It's always tough. As big of a guy that Mike was, was around the community. Lance was around the community. Goodness, it's always tough, especially for Hunter. And I know that whole family was reeling, but Hunter, obviously a strong kid. He's one of the strongest. A great wrestler. And, it's always tough. But Lance always, one thing I'll always remember, push the pile.
Push the pile. That's right.
And we definitely miss hearing that on Friday night. So with that said, we're ready to kick things off here in the second half. Chaska and Orono, the Spartans lead by 1 score here over Chaska. And the Hawks, who won the opening kickoff, deferred. And we'll get the ball in the second half. The south to north kick from Orono is away, and it's Carver Miller who receives for Chaska on the near side. Carver Miller, another quick sprint up the sideline, up across the 35-yard line, and Chaska once again will have solid field position.
Yep, good return there by Carver Miller again. He's been a great player and a great find for this Hawks team. We thought it'd be a lot of Swagelok in the back returning kicks, but Carver Miller's doing a great job on his own.
Something that, that's absolutely, as you said, a kind of a a hidden gem for Chaska so far this year has been, or at least this game has been Miller on the returning team, because Snuggerud's going to play a lot on the offense. He's gonna go in motion a lot. He's going to kick the extra points. He's going to kick the field goals, do the kickoffs. So he's going to see a lot of playing time, and it's good that if you can get a guy who's just as effective like Miller out there on kickoff return, do that if you can. Here's Miller, as we said. He's swallowed up, though, at the line of scrimmage by Shea Albrecht, the 6'4", 300-pound defensive tackle. Gets his 8th tackle of the season and stops Chaska with just a few yards past the line of scrimmage.
Good hard run there by Miller. Didn't have a lot of room. It's never fun getting hit by somebody that's 6'4", 300 pounds, but especially not this cold night here, Ryan. Nice job by Miller to maintain the possession of the ball.
2nd and 8 as Greg Erickson barks over the PA system. Greg took over as Hawks PA this year for Bob Downs, longtime PA announcer. So Greg now on the mic for Hawks football and Hawks hockey, which we are looking for streaming options for Hawks hockey as well as all winter sports. That's neither here nor there. But look for that at watchchbn.com this winter.
Yep.
Paul drops
Wheel
back
route.
to pass.
There it is.
Has Nick Snuggerud wide open on the sideline. Snuggerud couldn't reach out for it. Paul put it on the numbers, but Snuggerud just missed it off the fingertips.
Just barely out of Snuggy's reach there. It was a perfect play call. They found it. They took their shots. I was going to try to get a little word in there that I was going to look for a Snuggy wheel with them playing man-on-man. They found it. They just need to hit it. That's the second one Snuggy's had slip through his fingers. Both of them were catchable, but they would have been nice plays. Gosh, that's 2 big plays that the Hawks just barely missed on.
Just overthrown by Paul, who had a couple of big connections in the first half. He overthrew Bachman on one occasion, and this one just out of the fingertips of Nick Snuggerud. So 3rd and long, Hawks looking to go back through the air this year. Paul rolls out to the left side, has an option on the sideline at the 50-yard line. It's dropped, though. It looks like it was Dussault, yes, at midfield.
No, that was Miller.
Carver Miller, rather, at midfield. He couldn't haul it in, so it brings up 4th and long. A ball a little bit low by Paul there, and it brings up the punt team.
God, the opportunities were there, Ryan. I think that one caught Carver Miller in the chest. It was tough to see from our angle, but it looked like it was a catchable ball. Hate to see the 4 and out there to start the half.
So the punt team comes out. It's Nolan Kemp, the junior. 7 punts for an average of 36 yards per kick. Out here on 4th and 8. Good punt.
Yeah,
it's
we
away.
got a first down here.
And we will get a running into the punter. So it won't matter. And Chaska will get a first down out of the personal foul. The senior, number 89, Andrew Mendel, 6'8", 230. And he used all of it there to run right into Nolan Kemp. And it should give Chaska a first down. We will await the call from the officiating team.
I would expect a personal foul roughing the kicker there, not just a running into the kicker.
Andrew Aller wearing the white cap tonight, conferring with head linesman Jason Vogt. And here's the call.
Looks like it might just be a running into the kicker.
It is just a running into the kicker, so it'll give Chaska another attempt at 4th down. Just a 5-yard penalty, if I'm not mistaken. Hawks offense stays on the field. It is running into the kicker on the defense. So I believe it's only a 5-yard penalty. Not an automatic first down, though, I don't think.
No, it's not that personal foul first down.
Remains 4th down, though, after the 5-yard penalty. So Chaska in better position here, but they still keep the punt team out there.
I'd like to see maybe a hard count here.
Snap back from Westover to Kemp is good. This one not as great. Trickling towards the sideline will take a bounce on the white paint at the 32. And Orono will come out on offense for the first time this half.
Looks like we might have lost a few yards there. It was smart to take the flag. I would have, like I said, I would like to see a hard count because they came after the kicker real hard on that last, or to run into him, giving us that 5-yard penalty, giving them maybe a hard count there. They looked a little excited on the line of scrimmage. It might have earned us a first down.
So 1st and 10 for the Spartans here from the 32. Teddy Dieters jogs back out at the quarterback position. 6'2", 195 senior, top returning rusher from that Orono Spartan team last year. They lost to Holy Angels in the first round of sections after going 3-6 overall last year. They start out 2-0 this year. Hand off to Beltran off the right side. Flag comes in from the near end. Beltran is brought down after a gain of 5. Snuggerud Actually, it's Zach
was,
Schaefer on the
Schaefer.
tackle, but we'll see what the reason for the laundry is.
I'm guessing it's a block in the back here. Looks like they got Getz hooked.
Orono, 100 penalty yards at least on the season. Started out the second half with a penalty on the running into the kicker, and now we await the call. Looks like they'll back up the Spartans. It is a block in the back, and it'll back them up 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Puts them at about the 22-yard line.
It was a good job by Getz. That's the second time he's been able to draw a penalty there, whether it's a holding or the block in the back. That's just because he's focusing on his keys. Ryan, he's doing a great job of playing disciplined football, stringing that play out, forcing the offensive player to make a decision. Let Getz go make the tackle, or maybe try to hold on to him or block him in the back because he missed his assignment.
Spencer Getz was a varsity lacrosse player his freshman year in high school. He's been a varsity basketball big asset the last couple years for that Hawks team, and now making a big impact here on this Hawks football team his senior year. Handoff after the penalty. It's off for Mueller off the right side. Another penalty flag comes in.
Another holding on Getz.
And it'll be another holding. Spencer Getz drew it again. They get back to the original line of scrimmage, but it will be backed up 10 yards from the spot of the foul. The flag is at the 22-yard line. And for the second play in a row, Spencer Getz draws a holding penalty. So 3 penalties already on this Orono team, and we're not even 2 minutes into the second half.
Yep, that was on Wilford. He did a good job of locking up with Getz. The only issue is anytime as a coach you're teaching a player to block on the outside, you have to have your hands on the inside. Wilford was outside of Getz, and that's what caused the holding penalty.
Wilford only 1 carry this year. He's also had 1 reception, but he plays a lot of snaps for this Orono offense. He's the fullback. He also is a star middle linebacker on defense. He's only had 1 catch this year, but he sees a lot of action.
He's their Swiss Army knife out there. He's going to be moving around a lot, and they use him as a big part of their offense.
Spartans go 1 to the backfield, 3 wide. Look to pass here on first and 30. Dieters running off the right side, looking to get back to the original line of scrimmage. He's going to be short of that, around the 27-yard line.
Nice job by Seuss to bring him down out there in the open field.
Will get the tackle. Hawks defense, the secondary especially, has been playing extremely well so far tonight.
Yeah, they've done a great job of limiting the guys on the outside. Arneson got loose once, and then he scored that touchdown. Other than that, they've done a great job in their tackling. Watch out for Dieters to scramble again here. We got 2nd and 15.
Dieters was a threat in the first quarter on the ground. Didn't get as much action in the second quarter, but with 2nd and 15 to go, he rolls out to the near side, but he's brought down at the 30-yard line and pushed back Jack Frick in there on the tackle, and the Hawks force a 3rd and long for Orono.
I like to see Jack Frick be that aggressive. He's playing angry out there right now. He's one of the nicest kids on the team, but showing that aggression, being the veteran leader, the captain that the Hawks need right now, driving the ball back.
3rd and 11 for Orono. The QB keeper goes for about 4 yards from Teddy Dieters. Brings up 3rd and long, however, with just under 9 minutes and rolling here in the third quarter. Orono came out firing, had an Aronson touchdown through the air. Matthew Paul then countered with a rushing touchdown of his own, and then Mueller scored with a jet sweep on the near side in the late second quarter. Through the air, Dieters looking on the near side for Aronson. Aronson caught, and he falls down at the 37-yard line. He burned Jack Frick on the near side, and Aronson, after falling down awkwardly, is slow to get up.
That was a nice play designed by Orono. They really made the cornerback, Schaefer, bite on that bubble. And then they were able to get deep with Arneson. Watching Arneson go down here, this could be big. He's been the most explosive playmaker for Orono so far. Looks like he's got an ankle issue.
He fell very awkwardly right around the 40-yard line, and now he's sitting back down on the 45. He tried to get off the field, but the leading receiver for Orono coming into the game had 93 yards off 5 catches a week ago versus Cooper, and he's down here just a couple minutes into the second half. Athletic training staff comes out onto the field. He's going to hobble off under his own power, but that is a big loss, as you said, for the Orono team if he does have to take a couple plays off.
Yeah, you hate to see anybody getting hurt. He would have been in a foot race with Jack Frick for a touchdown there if he didn't get hurt. Looked like something non-contact, which is always kind of scary, but he's up and moving pretty well.
So it's a first down for Orono after the completion from Dieters to Aronson. That's been a pretty potent punch for Orono so far tonight and beyond in the first 2 games. Aronson, 113 yards through the air on 8 receptions, has a touchdown, and got another one yet tonight. So Orono loses a wide receiver. They'll bring in number 13, Louis Sustacek, on the near side to fill the position of Arnson. Still going 4 wide, Orono is. Have one in the backfield. It's going to be a pitch. Tosses to Mueller. Mueller trying to string it out at the 40-yard line. Breaks through a tackle, and he's finally pushed out of bounds at the 32 by a slew of Chaska Hawk. Gavin Erickson involved on that one.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Schwartz seal the edge a little bit harder there. It looks like he came out to make the play. He was blocked a little bit by their number 1, Wilford, but he's got to set the edge and maintain the outside discipline.
Schwartz will come off for a breather for Chaska. Bring in Zach Schaefer into the cornerback position.
Yep, and it looks like the coaches are talking about it right now.
And Orono here with 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3 maybe, on the far side hash. Handoff. Behind the line of scrimmage, Mueller looking for a hole. Jack Frick in there to slow him down after Spencer Getz was there to make the initial hit. Mueller gets up across close to the 30-yard line, but it's not close enough for a first down.
Yep, Mueller keeps falling forward here, and the Chaska Hawks need to stop that. They need to be pushing him back on, anytime a game this close, 1-2 yards makes a big difference. So they can't allow Mueller to continue to fall forward for that extra yard or two.
We'll bring up 3rd and a couple. Line to gain is the 29. The ball is on the 31-yard line on the near side. Both teams break the huddle. Dieters leading the huddle for Orono, and Gavin Erickson, the middle linebacker, leads the group for the Hawks. 3rd and short. Let's see what the Spartans draw up. Handoff to Mueller up the middle.
Nice
going to be close.
Getz.
It's going to be short, though. Spencer Getz brought him down with the arm tackle. Ball is on the 30-yard line. It's going to be close, but no, they say it's 4th down.
Yep, and they're definitely going to go for it here. They're kind of in no man's land, so I'd expect them to, bring in some beef and try to drive this up the middle. Great play by Getz there to not get too far upfield. He came across the line of scrimmage, was disciplined, shuffled down the line, and was able to make the play in the backfield.
Josh Bauman, the offensive right guard, comes into play. Hawks bring the heavy setup up the middle. Hawks fans are getting loud, pounding on the bleachers with their feet. Dieters in the backfield. Has Mueller once again to his right. Orono goes with the option. And they'll get the first down and more. Dieters drove into the ground, though, after the first down. Grant Susner there, or Cage Montoya, rather, there for the tackle. But it moves the chains for the Orono Spartans. Teddy Dieters, once again, first down on the ground.
Good aggressive tackle there by Cage Montoya. He said, Dieters, yeah, you might be getting the first down, but you're going to pay for it here. I'd expect him to be more aggressive in the second half. They haven't really taken any shots at Montoya, which is to be expected because he's such a skilled corner. So let's see if he can come out and make a play here.
Montoya, over 35 tackles last year, has 6 so far on the year. The all-metro cornerback playing well so far for the Hawks this year. Another one to Mueller up the middle. This one's not going to go very far, though. Josh Bauman in there for the tackle, along with Yusuf Hamza for the Hawks on the defensive front.
Great play there by 71 Bauman. He fought off the block and was able to make the play on that counter. I'd watch out for number 11 here. He's back in the game, Arnson. We gave him quite a bit of space there when he was operating from the slot. We had Jack Frick over the top of him about 12, 13 yards deep. I'd be careful here on a bubble with Arneson.
Arnson stands 6 feet. Jack Frick stands 6'2", but Arnson beat him on the ground on that last reception. He stands on the near side now. He's got number 5, Zach Schaefer, guarding him on this one. Handoff up the middle, though. It's a quick sprint through the A-gap by Aiden Mueller. Called his name quite a few times tonight, just short of the 20-yard line. Brings up 3rd and short, or 3rd and manageable, rather. Coles Weefel will come back into the game after a quick breather. Gives Josh Bauman back on the sideline.
Yeah, the Hawks' defense right now is a little bit leaky. It's 4 or 5 yards a carry for Mueller, and we need to slow that down. We're a little bit undersized as inside linebackers, so we need our defensive line to really, maintain their offensive line on the blocks, so our outside linebackers and our inside backers can move.
3rd and about 6. Orono goes hard count, fails though. It's a QB keep, snuffed out by the Hawks, but they miss a tackle. Schaefer on the right side gets juked, and Dieters diving for the pylon. No call. It looks like I thought he was in. He touched the inside of the pylon. Maybe his knee was down. We've yet to get a call from the officials, and it looks like they're going to mark him short.
Yeah, it looks like he stepped out of bounds at the 1 yard line. The near side official came in right away and made that call. It's about 6 inches short.
Another injury. It looks like Aronson is back down on the near side for Orono. He's really grimacing in pain on this one. Is that Aronson? I believe it is.
I think that's it looks like that's a lineman, I believe. Let's see.
Well, it gives us a moment to thank Five Guys. We'd like to give a big shout-out to Ryan DeSalt and the team at Five Guys, located at Flying Cloud Drive and Eden Prairie Center Drive in Eden Prairie. Five Guys provides their great handcrafted burgers and fries to help feed our players during the football season, and I know the guys really love that. Next time you're hungry, stop into Five Guys. Also in the injury timeout, we'd like to thank Unrestricted Marketing. Mike Boyle and his team at Unrestricted Marketing do a great job. Whether it's developing a brand strategy or creating digital content, or designing and managing promotional apparel, Unrestricted Marketing will deliver an unparalleled, unabashed, and unbelievable experience. Go to unrestrictedmktg.com for more information. Also, Caliber Collision, located at 1324 Crystal Lane in Chaska, for their support of Hawks football. With 32 locations in the metro area, Caliber Collision is there to handle any of your collision repair needs. Visit calibercollision.com for a full menu of services and locations. It actually, Mike, is Graham Beltran, who is down for Orono, and he is helped off the field by the athletic training staff.
Grant Beltran, he's one of those guys that plays both ways for Orono. He's their center fielder on defense. He's got 2 interceptions this year. He's a big body, and it's going to be a big loss if he can't come back in. Looks like he's got an ankle injury.
He looks like he's a little worse for wear than Aronson was a couple minutes ago. Both of those guys going down with ankle injuries. As I mentioned in the pregame, you obviously were coaching on this turf last night. It's cold, and they just plowed some snow off the turf. There are some pellets that have been pushed off to the side. I don't really think it's going to make much of a difference, but obviously the surface is a lot harder than what these guys are used to.
Yeah, the surface is quite a bit harder, and this turf honestly has seen better days. There's some loose patches out there that I know that we're doing our best to fix, but with this field turf, one big scuff, and all of a sudden it takes up a big portion of the field. It was in decent shape last night. It wasn't too cold. It's definitely not frozen like we've seen, in other games. But, it's definitely playing a little harder than it usually does.
Obviously, as a guy who works on grass for a living, I'm a fan of natural grass. But in situations like this, turf is really a great advantage. Hawks blow it up in the backfield. Look at Spencer Getz giving it to Aiden Mueller in the face. Spencer Getz sniffed that one out from the start.
Great play by Spencer Getz. He fired off the ball like a cannon and blew that play up in the backfield. That's going to fire up the defense, and it also gives them a little bit of breathing room, pushing the ball out to about the 3.5.
What a play from Spencer Getz. I'm sure that will Aiden Mueller right up if he wasn't already. I'm sure that one stung on that hard field turf that we were talking about. Going back to that point, it's not to say that the injuries tonight have been caused. I'm sure they haven't been caused by flaws in the turf, but it's just a note to keep in the back of your mind. From the 4 or 5 yard line, Dieters rolls out to his right, looks for the pylon again, and he reaches this time, and they say he's short once again. The same exact play from what happened on the near side just a couple minutes ago. Dieters thinks he was in, but they say he's short. On both of these plays, Mike, it's interesting. The football has touched the inside of the pylon like you're supposed to do, like they teach you to do, but they say he was short anyway.
If I was in Dieter's position there, I probably would have had a 15-yard penalty, and I'd be listening to Coach Young yell at me on my way to the sidelines. He definitely, it was a hell of an effort to get to the outside. He got to the pylon. I don't know if he stepped out of bounds or what happened there, but they ruled him short. Good for the Hawks.
If we've seen anything tonight, it's that Teddy Dieters is a threat on the ground. He's quick, he's shifty, and he really can hand it to you. He goes under center here on this 3rd and short. Maybe they'll punch it up the middle. Could be a fullback draw. Nope, it's a halfback draw up the middle. It's Mueller who follows the fullback Wilford into the end zone for a score, and Orono goes up 2 scores now, 20-7.
It was a good possession by Orono. It all started with that pump fake to the bubble, and then they hit that deep pass to Arneson, and then after that they just executed. It's like I was talking about earlier, Ryan, with just Mueller falling forward constantly. We got to push him back in the backfield. We can't let him continue to fall forward for the extra yard or two.
I want to thank Swagelok for sponsoring our instant replays tonight. And the extra point from Coleman pending. Bad snap. Hold is up late, but it looks like it got through. A good recovery from the holder, Teddy Dieters. And Jack Coleman kicks it through soccer style, and Orono goes up 21-7.
Gage Montoya almost got that off the edge. We're going to need a big explosive return here. And you know what? We haven't really called Nick Snuggerud's name throughout the game. I'd expect him to get involved heavily going forward.
So the Hawks offense has 3:48 left in the third quarter. We'll try to get it done before time expires in the fourth. Still a lot of time left, 3 timeouts. We'll see what Brian Dahl, head coach, and Jamie Susner, offensive coordinator, dial up here for Chaska coming off of the Orono score.
Yeah, another thing that's going to be interesting is if Arneson comes back out at cornerback and if Beltran's able to play that center field safety, like I said.
Those are 2 big losses that Orono had in that last possession. It looked like Arneson came back out onto the field after that ankle injury, but definitely Beltran looked pretty beat up after suffering that looked like maybe a twisted ankle down at the 5-yard line. He had to be helped off the field. Carver Miller back to receive this one for the Hawks. It'll be Coleman kicking from the 40-yard line with his fluorescent green shoes and fluorescent green tee, complementing the Orono all-white uniforms with blue numbering, red trimming. Chaska with the all-purples tonight, silver numbering, and the Hawk wings on the purple helmets. Live from Chaska Hawk Stadium, Ryan Paul, Mike Schmid with you here. Glad you've tuned in tonight on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network, brought to you by Swagelok. Boom! The kick goes off of the foot of Coleman, and it's fielded by Chaska's number 7, Grant Susner. He's up across the 30, and the squib kick is brought out to the 35-yard line. Grant Susner, his first kick return of the season, sets the Chaska Hawks up at the 35-yard line.
Not a bad return there by Seuss. You know, it's always kind of it's something that you have to handle as an up back there. You have to deal with a tough bounce, which he did, and then he was able to move the ball upfield. You're not looking for him to break anything and be explosive. You just want to gain positive yards, and you did a good job of that.
Braden Sanders, the junior, going to come out at quarterback on this one. Chaska has done this time to time throughout this year, giving Paul and Sanders split snaps. A little interesting. Paul had been playing a pretty decent game, but Sanders comes out. I think this is all part of the game plan for Jamie Susner and Brian Dahl. Sanders on this one. 3:40 to go, second half at quarterback. 2 in the backfield. Hands off to Jack Boyle. Boyle through a couple tacklers, gets a first down and close to more. Going to be right at the line to gain, and they will move the chains at the 45-yard line.
Boyle's fun to watch. He's got a nose for where the sticks are. He always finishes runs hard, and he's extra quick in his boost to get to the second level. I'd expect them to keep it on the ground here again.
Sanders passing on the year, 50% for 44 yards and an interception. He has 13 rushing yards, but he's primarily as a junior still kind of finding the feel for this varsity offense look. They hand off once again. It was almost a fumbled snap by Boyle. There was trouble on the exchange, and Orono took advantage of the delay in the backfield and pushed him back 2 yards.
If I'm Coach Dahl, I'm going back to the senior Matty Paul here. There's no time to make a mistake. It's nothing that we've done wrong with Braden Sanders. He did have that pick in the first game. He shook that off and he was able to play well, but you just can't afford a mistake. Down 2 scores late in the third quarter.
2nd and 12 or 13 for Chaska on this one. Hawks will split out 2 to the far side. Bachman on the near side.
And it looks like Arneson's playing that deep center field now.
Yep.
That
Hawks play clock running down. 1 second. They just get the playoff. Sanders looking to throw it deep. Has Snuggerud open on the sideline, and they'll get the pass interference call.
Yeah, it was nice to get that flag. I didn't love the execution of the play itself. Arneson's playing center field. He's a great player. Yes, I love getting Snuggerud involved, but throwing that ball to the wide side of the field with an electric playmaker on defense, it's always tough. We got a nice one with the call there. Look to get Snuggy the ball a little bit more, maybe in space at the line of scrimmage.
Snuggerud drew the penalty on the senior Noah Arnson, who's back from an ankle injury, a little slowed down, so the Hawks are picking on that a little bit, but they get a first down on the pass interference call. They'll move the chains all the way down to the 40-ish, just beyond the 40-yard line. So Chaska set up here with 2 minutes and 17 seconds to go in the third quarter to make a run for a score.
We got Bachman isolated on the bottom of the screen against Ryan Rudd. I'd look to exploit that.
One-on-one on the bottom of your screen, as Mike mentioned. They'll hand off instead up the middle to Boyle. Boyle hard fought 4 or 5 yards up across the 40. If we've seen anything out of Jack Boyle this year, 15 rushes for 89 yards, 2 touchdowns, it's that he will ground and pound everything on the ground.
Yeah, he is a grinder. He's one of those guys that you expect him to get hit and gain 2 yards, and all of a sudden you look at the sticks and he got 4. He's always falling forward, just like we said on the opposite end with Mueller. And that's something that as a running back, you have to be aggressive. You have to hit the hole hard, and you have to fall forward to gain the extra yards.
143, 21-7, Orono with the advantage. Hawks looking to split that up here on this possession. Sanders takes the high snap, gives it to Yeomans. Yeomans tripped up, or he might have had a couple of extra yards. DeWanda's Yeomans across the 35 to about the 32. We'll be right at the sticks. We'll see where they spot the ball. And it's going to be short. 3rd and inches here for the Hawks with just over a minute to go in the third quarter.
This would be a good situation to maybe take a shot and go for it on 4th down, but I expect them to keep it on the ground.
Snuggerud isolated with Rudd on the bottom of your screen, and they draw him offside once again. That's the second time they've done that tonight, Mike. Orono undisciplined on the defensive line.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted the hard count on that play down on the goal line with Getz and the Wildcat. They did a good job there of being disciplined. Chaska is probably the best coached team in the conference, if not the state. The coaching staff has done a great job installing discipline while allowing the kids to have fun. Another great execution job by Chaska.
For some reason, the clock is still running through this whole penalty. 59 seconds left. If the Hawks are going to do any home cooking, they'd really want it to work in their advantage. Yeoman's up across the 20.
Looks like you got about 8. That's the Thunder and Lightning with Yeomans and Boyle. They definitely give defenses 2 different looks.
2nd and 3 coming up for Chaska from right on the 19-yard line. 30 seconds to go here, third quarter rather. Chaska been a good third quarter team, yet to score so far here after Orono held the ball for the majority of the opening part of the quarter. Sanders, another high snap. Hands off to Yeomans. This one falling ahead for the first down. Stops the clock at 15 seconds.
Good job there to handle the snap by Sanders. Mike Langford used to snapping to 6'5", Matty Paul. You got the shorter Sanders in there now, but Sanders did a good job of handling that one.
So Hawks moving the ball here. 8 seconds left. They might try to get a playoff before the third quarter expires. Sanders with 2 seconds left. And the horn sounds before they were able to get a playoff. So Chaska will have to come all the way back down to the north side of the field and line up once again. 12 minutes to go. Hawks down 2 scores, Mike. We'll step aside. It's 21-7 Orono with 12 minutes to play from Chaska High School on the Swagelok Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network.
We have the ability to overcome anything as long as we're surrounded by the right people. Comebacks imply returning to where you once were. I want to go where I've never been.
Hawks and Spartans, 12 minutes to go here on the Swagelok Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network from Chaska High School. I'm Brian Paul, founder of the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Chaska Hawks alum Mike Schmid with me on the call tonight. Mike, 12 minutes to go. Hawks down 2 scores inside the red zone here. Going to be an exciting finish.
It will be an exciting finish. I expect it to come down to the wire. And you know what? Both these teams have been pretty evenly matched, minus the 2 big plays that the Spartans hit that Chaska missed. We missed 2 deep plays to Snuggerud that would have been the difference makers in this game. Hopefully the crowd and the cheerleaders can get the boys fired up here going into fourth quarter. Good news is they've been in this situation before. They're battle tested, so they should be ready for it.
You know, we talked, in the last game, it was really the first time that this Hawks class had seen adversity. We'll see how they handle it this time. The junior Sanders in at quarterback for the first time tonight on this possession. 1st and 10. Sanders rolls out the pass. This one caught on the far side by Jack Boyle. Boyle towards the 10-yard line. He's out of bounds there. Near the first down stick.
Looks like he's 2 yards short.
Boyle, the first catch of the season for the junior. Good for about 9.
Good job by Sanders there to get that pass off. He was under quite a bit of pressure, got the ball out to Boyle. Boyle made a nice shoestring catch there and was able to get upfield for the gain. I'd like to see a little bit more of that, getting Boyle, getting Carver Miller, getting Snuggerud involved in the passing game at the line of scrimmage.
Orono making some shifts on the defensive. Handoff to Yeomans. Yeomans looking for a hole. He's pushed forward. You know, Mike, that's something that I've noticed. DeWantis, Yeomans, and Jack Boyle both do a great job of, is falling forward. That first down was given to Yeomans because he fell forward and was pushed forward by the Orono tacklers.
All three running backs in this game are doing a great job, and you know, you can tell that the defense on both sides is wearing down a little bit. They have had quite a few long drives. I mean, there hasn't been a ton of electric scoring, but that's because they've limited big plays.
Hawks have 3 in the backfield, including Sanders, Boyle to his right, Yeomans to his left. The 2 running backs on the depth chart for Chaska in the backfield. They have Snuggerud on the near side, Bachman on the far side. False start on the Hawks.
Yeah, it looks like Boyle actually fell forward. They didn't call it. The Orono sidelines was going ballistic, and then it looks like right tackle Leo Smalley might have jumped.
So it'll back the Hawks up 5 yards as they were at first and goal. It'll put them outside the 10-yard line. So making things a little more difficult. Maybe miscommunication on the snap count there because it looked like Smalley was going for it all the way. Didn't look like just a flinch. So the Hawks could have been trying for a hard count, or maybe Smalley just missed a snap count.
After this play, I'd expect to see a lot of the Wildcat look, maybe twice with Getz and then once with Snuggerud if they can't get in.
Now Yeomans is the sole back behind Sanders. Looking to pass. Bachman far side, hand fighting, and it is caught by Bachman. Inbounds for the touchdown.
I honestly believe that Ethan Bachman probably is the top wide receiver in the state right now. Anytime they get him the ball, good things happen. Nice job on the fade route, winning the hand fight battle, and then using his size, 6'4", 185, to get that touchdown. He's fired up. He's going to head to the sidelines and get the boys going.
Thanks to the Swagelok replay, we're able to see the hand fighting. Bachman may be interfered with, but nevertheless, what a catch, what a ball by Braden Sanders. Put it right in the hands of Ethan Bachman, who dragged his 1 foot, which is all that's required for a touchdown in high school football. And the Hawks sliced the Orono lead down to 7 points after the Nick Snuggerud extra point is good. And the Hawks are fired up, Mike.
Yeah, this is where the defense has to come out and get a stop. I'd like to see some outside pressure, maintain the pocket, and then get a turnover here. Force Orono into a mistake. They haven't made a single one yet tonight. Force them into a mistake and then go down and drive and get the ball in the end zone, even it up, and then let's go from there.
Hawks defense, a couple of interceptions, a couple fumble recoveries on the year. As Mike said, would love to have one on this possession for the Chaska Hawks. 10:23 to go. The Hawks cut the Orono lead down to 7. 21-14. A great pass from Braden Sanders to Ethan Bachman. Mike said Ethan Bachman has been one of the top wide receivers in the state of Minnesota the last couple years. Led the returners in receiving yards last year and leads the district in receiving yards coming into tonight's matchup. Has a touchdown, has his second touchdown as his first touchdown of the season.
Yeah, he's been stopped twice inside the 5.
Yep.
But, I'm sure he's happy to finally get in for 6. Great job by the cheerleading squad there, leading the rouser. The parents are fired up here on Parents' Night. Let's keep the momentum going. The crowd's getting into it a little bit. You're seeing some moving bodies.
Hope you were able to enjoy our senior recognition at halftime and pregame. If you do want to go back and watch that, you can visit watchchbn.com at any time. All of our broadcasts from the last 4 or 5 years have been archived. You can go to watchchbn.com, click on the Watch Now button for all of those broadcasts. Snuggerud's kick after the Hawks touchdown bangs deep, and it bounces at the 30-yard line. Received there along the sideline by number 22 for Orono. That's Gavin Gustafson. Gustafson tiptoes along the sideline up to midfield, and Orono, after a special teams blunder by the Hawks, starts out with good field position.
You know, the Hawks raced downfield expecting to maybe have a shot at that ball. Gustafson did a good job of fielding it and then getting straight upfield. It's like we said with those upbacks, your job is not to, be electric. You catch the ball and then you get upfield. Hawks over pursued a little bit there, trying to get aggressive, causing a turnover. Gavin Gustafson's somebody, I'm surprised we haven't called his name more. Watching him in warm-ups, he is an electric athlete.
Orono will stack the near side. Tight end and 3 receivers in the trips on the near side. They pitch it this way for the extra blocking. Mueller Slammed out of bounds at the 47.
Seuss let him feel that one.
Absolutely.
Big hit on the sidelines.
Talked about it a lot in the first half. Sussner, the wrestler.
Yes, he did a great job there coming downhill and letting Mueller know that he's still here. Sussner's little brother, too, playing safety for the freshman team. He's the exact same type of player. He's a little undersized, extremely aggressive, great kid.
Sussner family runs deep in this Chaska Hawks football program the last couple of years. Obviously, Jamie, the dad of the two Sussner boys, the offensive coordinator here. Grant, a former quarterback, playing safety and excelling here for the Hawks defense this year. Pitch off to the far side now for Mueller. Mueller up near the 40-yard line to the 42, where he's brought down by a slew of Hawks. Looks like Spencer gets involved once again on that one.
Orono might be setting up a deep pass here. Their quarterback, number 2, he's got a very good arm. Number 4, Teddy Dieters. Sorry about that. Teddy Dieters, he can throw the ball across field. 2 quick pitches to the trip side. Watch maybe a fake pitch to the trip side and have one of the receivers, probably Arneson, release deep. We got to be mindful of that.
Trips on the far side now, flipping the formation. They hand off this time to Mueller, looking to grind out a first down, and they do that. The clock stops as the ball crosses the 40-yard line to move the chains. So Orono, who had solid field position after the return by Gustafson on the kickoff, now inside the 40-yard line already with 9:30 to go in the regulation period.
Chaska's got about 15 yards here where they can bend anything other than that or anything closer than that. And that gets into Coleman's range, creating a 2-score game. They really need to get a stop here. It's going to be so crucial. Gatz has got to come up and make a play, or maybe Jack Frick.
3 receivers near side, rather. Wojciechowski, Aronson, and number 17, Ryan Rudd, the cornerback. They run it up the middle once again. This one is dug out by the Chaska defense. Maybe a gain of 1, if that, to the 39.
A little bit of extracurricular or extra activity there. Looks like 56 was driven downfield a little bit.
Isaiah Martig involved on that tackle.
We got Big Cole Zwiefel back in the game now. Let's see if we can get a stop if they run it up the chute.
One more reminder, if you're watching, wherever you're watching from tonight, tweet us at hashtag CHBN with a picture of where you're watching from. Hashtag CHBN, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you're watching from.
Jack Frick's got to be disciplined here. Watch that bubble and go.
Another handoff up the middle to Mueller. He breaks through the first line up across the 35. Mueller really getting his workload tonight here, Mike, so far. 55 carries in through 2 games. Got to be approaching that 75 mark here tonight.
Yeah, that's kind of been Orono's bread and butter. They just run him, they run him on those soft counters, and he's been able to be successful. He finds a hole and he hits it. Like I said, he's more of a one-cut runner. He's not going to dance a lot. It's just going to be find a seam and go.
Third and 2. Roll out to the right. Dieters stuffed. Going to be close, but it's going to be short of the 30-yard line. Hawks don't break there. Good play by the defensive line for the Hawks. Hawks defense needs a stand here, Mike.
Yeah,
fourth and short.
Them to maybe bring in a big body or two. It looks like they're going to stay with their base defense. Maybe get a timeout here after they see the look, although those could be precious down the line. Gavin Erickson doing what he can to fire up that defensive line.
7:07 and running. You can see the breath from the Hawks football players. Purple jerseys tonight. Really, really cold out there. 30 degrees now. 6:51 to go from Chaska, Minnesota. Hawks and Orono, as here is the timeout after a little bit of clock runs out, and Orono will call time as they ran up to the line of scrimmage.
Orono came out in an off-balance look there. It'll be interesting to see if they come out in that look again. They had number 1, like I said, their move back, their Swiss Army knife. Wilford playing basically left tackle as they brought their left tackle over to tight end on the right side.
Gives us a minute to thank Greg Butler at Edina Realty, who has a special offer for homeowners considering selling their home. Greg is offering $500 credit at closing for a home warranty system, professional staging, or other home selling technologies to help you sell your home for more money. To add Greg Butler to your home selling team, contact Greg Butler at 952-484-8288. That's 952-484-8288. Call Greg today. Additionally, an annual hotspot for Hawks football fans, Heartbreakers Bar and Grill has outstanding burgers and pizza. They absolutely do. And they have a great drink specials as well. Wouldn't know about that one. Heartbreakers is located in the Chaska Commons, so get off the couch and stop by after the game for some delicious food and beverages on the patio. And yes, the fire pit and heaters are turned on. That's Heartbreakers in the Chaska Commons, Mike.
All right,
Fourth and short.
It looks like they have a balanced set.
Going to spread it out. Mueller in the backfield once again. He's got a lot of carries on this one. Dieters keeps up the middle, has the first down. Good gap there made by the fullback, David Wilfert, the 5'11 senior. As you said, the Swiss Army knife for this Orono team. David Wilfert getting a good edge block there to set the hole for Teddy Dieters.
Surprised the Hawks didn't come out there in a little heavier look, but they went with their base defense as Orono spread them out. Now we're getting into the danger zone where the field goal is in play, so we got to get a stop here. Anything more than 5 yards, and I would expect Orono to take a shot with Coleman on a field goal. That's if we can get a stop at all. I mean, they've been just gashing this Hawks defense so far in the second half.
Chaska only had one loss all of last season. It was to Armstrong early in the year. Won every game, including the state championship last year. We'll see if they can hold off Orono here in week 3 of this COVID-shortened season. It's Aiden Mueller who runs it out to the far side. He's finally chased down by Grant Susner around the 15-yard line. Good for about 7 yards, and Orono driving ever so closer to this inside this red zone now. Chaska needs to buckle down.
Yep, they brought in Ethan Bachman here to play outside linebacker, subbing him in. I would expect for Orono to keep the ball on the ground. They've been, nothing but successful with doing that so far in this drive. We're going to need to fight hard in the trenches, get off our blocks, and make a play.
It was another one of our Rome Team Realty keys to the game. It was the battle in the trenches, and so far Orono has been winning that one on this second half. Another handoff up the middle to Mueller. This one's going to be close to the first down line to gain, but it'll be short. It'll be bring up 3rd and inches. Mueller in there, tackled down by the senior, Cole Zwiefel.
Yep, it looks like we got 3rd and inches here. Cole Zwiefel doing a great job. I would expect Chaska to come out in a man look in the defensive backfield, trusting all 4 seniors to be able to, lock up their guy, allowing the linebackers a little bit of freedom to go blitz.
5 minutes to go from Chaska High School. We got a 1-score game. Orono driving, trying to make it a 2-score game.
Cole Zwiefel is going to be big here. Let's see where the pile ends up. If it ends up on our side of the line of scrimmage, we're going to be in trouble.
Mueller to the right of Teddy Dieters. That has been a potent punch for the Spartans tonight. They'll go back to it here on 3rd down. Dieters blown up in the backfield. Isaiah Martig was there to slow him down, and it looked like Rolf came in to shut him down completely. Brings up 4th and short.
Rolf's really showing me something in this game. We didn't call his name a lot in the first 2 games, but he's been great tonight. Tackling hard, moving quick. Nice job by Hazma there to extend the play out, causing him to move laterally as opposed to north and south, able to make give Rolf time to make the play.
Even backed up Orono 2 yards, so now it's 4th and 3, makes things a little different. Looks like they're going to go for it. I was just going to say.
I'm surprised Coleman's not coming out here. Like I said, he was good from right around that range in pregame.
Coleman 5 for 5 on field goals so far this year. Rusty Olson, the offensive coordinator for Orono, and Coach McPherson for the Spartans elect to go for it, at least show they're going for it on 4th down. They take a timeout here with under 4 minutes to go. Before you make that point, Mike, we do want to thank Chaska Laundry Center. A fresh and clean environment greets you every time you walk into the Chaska Laundry Center. Those friendly attendants are there to assist you with all of your laundry needs. For those of you that are busy, Chaska Laundry Center offers free pickup and delivery for all of your dry cleaning needs. Check out www.Chaska Laundry Center for more details.
Yep, I think that if we had the ball on the close hash here on our side, they might be going for the field goal, but just kicking, having to push the ball into the wind, I think that's probably the decision maker right now for Orono and keeping the ball and probably trying to run it up the middle.
4th and 2 upcoming for the Spartans. We'll see what they have drawn up. Do want to make one more note that if you would like to download a digital copy of tonight's Hawks Game Day program, that's available at chaskahawksfootball.com. And if you would like to support the Chaska Touchdown Club in any way, including supporting the cost for tonight's live stream, please visit www.chaskahawksfootball.com. The Chaska Touchdown Club is a 501c3 organization, and all donations go back to the Chaska Hawks football program. We appreciate any donations that you are able to make. If you're enjoying tonight's live stream and want to help offset the cost, or just want to help support the Hawks football program. Here we go, 4th and 2 with under 4 minutes to play. This is Orono's big chance. Dieters keeps it off the right side, and he's going to get the first down and more. Hawks defensive line was looking for a holding call, but the Orono Spartans sideline is fired up as their quarterback, who's been strong on the ground tonight, comes through again to give him a first down.
Dieter's quick. He's so quick off the edge. He had the up back Mueller leading him to catch that edge. Nice ISO football by Orono. Running more time off the clock. Hawks are down to just about 3 minutes, and they need to stop here.
Hawks bring in a couple of fresh set of legs on the defensive end. Bauman in for a second time at least that we've seen on defense here tonight. Zweifel and Martig exit. 3:30 to go. It's starting to get close for Chaska here. Orono trying to punch it in to make the Hawks come back a little bit harder, and it's Teddy Dieters who's strung down in the backfield. Who else than Spencer Getz? I feel like we say at every game, Mike, Spencer Getz just seems to have a knack for making big plays.
Again, that was disciplined football by the senior captain. He saw that, they've been running a lot of that ISO with Mueller. That time Dieters with the keep. Getz kept his keys, was playing disciplined, outside discipline, and was able to tackle Dieters for a big loss. That's not only a big loss there just because, they lost the 5 yards, but it also pushes them back on any potential field goal.
Big loss there for Orono. It's now 2nd and 15. Jack Coleman, I should say, 5 for 5 on field goals this year, so they have that in their back pocket. He's shown that he can kick it here tonight. 3 for 3 on extra points on the evening. Let's see what Chaska has dialed up on defense here, because we know that if they execute appropriately, they can come down and score on offense on this Orono defense. But it really comes down to this play here on this drive here, as Orono already in the red zone after starting at their 50-yard line.
Yeah, these next 2 plays are really going to be crucial. If we can push them back any further, it might take a field goal out of the equation. Like I said, he would be kicking into the wind here, especially from that far hash. So let's see what the Hawks can dial up. Really love to see him get additional pressure here. Watch for Orono. If I'm Orono, I'm going anywhere but where number 3 is at this point. So maybe Ethan Bachman can get upfield and make a big play. And again, the defensive line just got to hold up that offensive line and let our linebackers go.
2nd and long, 3:18 to go. Dieters in the backfield, motions Wilford across. Dive up the middle for Mueller. He's stuffed there, gets about a yard or two. And a timeout coming here. Chaska takes their second timeout of the half to stop the clock here with 3:11 to go. So Orono has a first down on the table at about the 5-yard line, but, really they're looking for a touchdown here.
Yeah, they're looking for a touchdown. They're really trying to put this game away. It was a good job by the Hawks squad as a whole right there. Good gang tackle pushing the runner back.
Today, if you're just tuning in, I'm Ryan Paul, joined by Mike Schmidt here on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network, brought to you by Swagelok tonight. We got a good one. The 2-0 Orono Spartans and the 2-0 Chaska Hawks doing battle here. Orono out of the Suburban Red, coming out of 5-4A. Chaska, the defending 5A state champions from Section 2 in the Suburban White. 2 teams, obviously, at 2-0, lead their subsections. Something's got to break here tonight for Chaska or Orono, and Orono currently has the 7-point advantage, but Chaska trying to shut them down here and get a chance to run their 2-minute drill on offense coming back down the field.
Yes, I would look for Chaska to be ultra aggressive again here. And if I'm Orono, I'm probably trying to move that ball over to the right hash. It does 2 things. One, you're running away from Spencer Getz, who's been an animal the entire game, just living in Orono's backfield. And 2, it allows for an easier field goal to set up that 2-score game.
3rd and 13 here. Ball in the 18. Wojciechowski near side. Mueller in the backfield. They pitch to Mueller. It's an end around. Aronson on the near side. Cuts up. Susner there to tackle him, though, behind the line of scrimmage. Brian Dahl calls his last time out.
Susner and Bachman doing a great job
there.
Great
play,
Yep, they remain disciplined. Both of them are extremely fast players, but they didn't over-pursue. We saw a little bit of that reverse early in the first half, but there was a great job there just maintaining the edge and, bringing that play back inside. forcing it to the tackler. Seuss coming up to finish. Bachman wrapping up. Great job by the Hawks.
Bachman, not a guy who we see on defense a lot. Obviously, the stud wide receiver on offense, but he's listed in the depth chart as a third down outside linebacker. We've seen a little bit more of him here tonight. He's had a couple of great tackles. Grant Seussner there to help him out on that one. So 4th and 13. Chaska really needs to stop here on 4th down. A little bit of trickery coming out of the Rusty Olson offense there for Orono. We'll see what they dial up here on 4th and long with 3:02 to go. Chaska would love an opportunity to get their offense back out there with a chance to tie or possibly go ahead in this football game.
Jack Coleman's on the field. It looks like we're going to see a field goal attempt here. Watch Cage Montoya coming off the edge, and also watch Ethan Bachman. He's a great athlete, 6'4". He can get up, and maybe hopefully we can get a block on this one. Again, Orono did shift the ball over to the right side of the field, which I think is great coaching on their behalf just to get their kicker set up and a situation where he can be successful.
5 for 5 on field goals for the season. The junior Jack Coleman lines up here. Ball will be placed on the 24-yard line. The field goal is up, and it is through. A penalty flag after the kick is made at the original kicking spot. It is running into the kicker against Chaska. The penalty will be declined, and Orono will go up by 2 scores. Jack Coleman makes his 6th field goal of the year.
Well, the Hawks know what they need to do now. They need to get 2 scores. They need to get one quick right here. I would expect maybe see Snuggerud back in the game as a kick returner, whether it's as an up back or as the deep back, just to get a little bit more explosiveness on the field. And I would expect to see Matty Paul get back in the game as a passing quarterback.
Chaska hasn't lost since September 20th, 2019. That was against Robbinsdale Armstrong right here. They have been beat by Orono, however, on this home turf. Chaska, since 2013, Mike, we mentioned it last game, as athletic director John Summer pointed out to us, they've only lost 6 games at home since 2013. Orono was one of those losses, which was in 2015, and then Armstrong also beat him, which Chaska ended up revenging last week with a home win. But Chaska 2-0, trying to keep the winning streak alive, defending 5A state champions, losing to Orono by 2 scores, 10 points right now after the Jack Coleman field goal here from Chaska High School.
Yeah, this is where it's going to be really big that Grant Beltran left the game, because now they can't match up Noah Arneson at cornerback and take away either Nick Snuggerud or Ethan Bachman. Now Arneson's playing that center field role. Look for the Hawks to really take advantage of that. Maybe a little bit of maybe like a backside pass deep on a post. Otherwise, just a general fly, because both of those guys have elite speed, and I don't think anyone on Orono can keep up with them outside of 11.
Coleman will line up on the far side hash. That's the eastmost hash here from Chaska Hawks Stadium. 2:58 on the clock. And Orono will boot it deep. Carver Miller deep, but it's going to be fielded by Nolan Kemp. Kemp to the 35-yard line there before he's tripped up. So Chaska will run their 2-minute, 54-second drill here from the 34-yard line. Matthew Paul, the senior, will come back in at quarterback, and Chaska needs a quick score and more.
Yep, they're prepared for this, though. I mean, this is a standard 2-minute drill. They should be able to drive the ball downfield, whether it's with quick hitches and getting back on the ball, otherwise taking deep shots. I would expect Orono to play a little bit conservative here, so we'll see what kind of looks we get and see where we can pick our shots.
DeSalt on the near side is split out wide. Then it's Carver Miller and Nick Snuggerud inward from him. Bachman on the far side on the top of your screen. Paul at the quarterback position has DeWantis Yeomans behind him. Paul looking for the slant route outside and is caught by Bachman at the 40-yard line. A quick gain of 5 and the clock stops.
We got a weird flag here in center field. Let's see what the call is.
Not something you usually see. See, this is in the defensive secondary right out atop the Hawk logo is where the penalty flag is thrown. Kind of an odd position
Looks like
for
a 12
flag.
men on the field situation.
And it could be Orono had too many men on the field. It is exactly that. So a personnel blunder with 2:50 to go in the fourth quarter, and it'll move the ball up. It doesn't move the ball up. They didn't assess the penalty.
No, so it wiped out the play there.
Yeah, okay, I'm not sure. Anyway, 2:50 to go. Paul handles the snap once again. Steps into a throw, finds Bachman again, and he is pushed out of bounds. So Chaska gets a first down, moves the chains, back-to-back out routes to Ethan Bachman, both good for 5 yards. Chaska's able to move the chains and try to drive down the field.
That hitch is going to be there wherever they want. What they're doing right now is they're setting up a hitch and go here with Ethan Bachman. Right now the coaching staff's talking to 3, their safety, telling them maintain deep. Look at now, he's on the very far side. They're double teaming Bachman.
Paul back to pass once again. Over the middle, caught by Snuggerud at the 40. Snuggerud gets a block from Bachman, and he's brought out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Chaska with another big gain and a first down, and they're inside Orono territory.
That's exactly what I was talking about pre-snap there, Ryan. They rolled that safety all the way over to double Ethan Bachman, making sure he can't get deep. That allowed Snuggerud to get free in the middle of the field and create a play, get out of bounds, and get a first down.
Officially to the 31-yard line. Hawks go trip to the near side. Bachman on top of your screen. Once again, moving quickly. Chaska throws. Dropped by Bachman, though. They would have had at least 5-yard gain. Now, maybe Bachman wouldn't be able to get out of bounds. He was kind of at the numbers. Clock probably would have kept running, so the clock stops here off the dropped catch, but it brings up 2nd and 10 now. Bachman had that one right on the numbers, just couldn't handle it.
That one might have been a blessing in disguise. I'm not sure if you'd have been able to get out of bounds there. It was good breakdown and good pursuit by Gavin Gustafson. Now that he knows he's got that help over the top, he's going to be looking to stop that hitch.
2nd and 10, 2.5 in change. Paul drops back to pass once again, steps up in the pocket. He is going to be sacked behind the line of scrimmage by Connor Chappelle, and Chaska needs to get on the ball to spike it. Brings up 3rd and long after the sack. Or they might just run a play.
Him to see I got to see a play here. It's only 2 shots and 12.
Down. Paul looking for Miller, and he throws an interception. Going to be brought back by Gavin Gustafson. Nope, it's actually Bradley Walker, the sophomore linebacker, who was right ready for the catch, and Orono ices the game with a Matthew Paul interception.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see. I mean, they were bringing so much pressure over to Bachman's side on the top half that he was forced to go elsewhere. Made a mistake throwing with that underneath linebacker. You know, it's something that's going to happen. Everything moves pretty quickly as when you're as a quarterback. You just took a sack. You know that time's running down. You need 2 scores. You go out there. You try to make a play. Every once in a while that happens, and you make a mistake.
So Paul, who had been throwing a solid game, makes his biggest mistake of the night on an interception right into the hands of Bradley Walker, his first pick of the season, and Orono takes over up by 10 at the 35-yard line of Chaska.
Yep, we'll see. I'm assuming they're just going to try to salt this one away. They might even not even. Yeah,
they're in victory formation here. Chaska has no timeouts left, and they'll kneel down. That'll run off 40 seconds, so we'll get down to about a minute 10 before this next snap is taken. And Chaska will suffer their first loss since losing to Armstrong over a year ago on September 20th. Hawks played a solid game. Orono just made less mistakes. Orono, a solid team, will move to 3-0, Mike. They have Waconia coming up, another solid opponent. Chaska will go to Chanhassen next week. We'll chat a little bit more about that as we wind down the seconds here. 1:25 to go. Orono up 10 in the 4th quarter.
Yep, Orono just took advantage and made big plays when they had the opportunity. Like I said, we had those 2 plays to Snuggerud where he wasn't able to, get down, or he wasn't able to make the catch. It was just out of his fingertips. I think those were the difference in the game, as well as the poor snap to Spencer Getz on the 4th and 1 when Chaska's driving down to score right before the end of the half.
Missed opportunities for the Hawks tonight.
Yeah, I don't think they necessarily got outplayed. It was a very even game. It was just like I said, it's 2-3 plays. It's the big plays, and then you got to go out and make big plays.
So Orono's Joe McPherson has his team at 3-0 after sub 500 season last year. 40 seconds left, the play clock running down. Orono will kneel down one final time, and the Spartans end Chaska's winning streak. The defending state champions are downed by the Orono Spartans here in week 3 of this 2020 season.
Yeah, it's a disappointing loss here for the Hawks, but you know what? This is something very similar to what happened last year with Armstrong. Armstrong came here, they beat us in our house, And you know what? We didn't have an answer for him that night. This kind of stuff happens. You know, it's kind of good for a team every once in a while to lose early in the season, just so you can come back stronger. You know what you need to correct, and you get it fixed, and then you go in and you head towards sections.
Clock expires on this one. It is a final score: Orono 24, Chaska 14. From Chaska High School, we say so long tonight. The Hawks have Chanhassen next weekend. That'll be at Storm Stadium. Broadcast information is yet to be announced, but we will have it available for you. More information will be available at watchchbn.com. For those of you viewing on Chaska Community TV 14 tonight, we are unsure if the game next week will be aired on CTV 14. Again, all the information that you need for next week's broadcast at Chanhassen at watchchbn.com in the coming week. Mike, Hawks suffer their first loss since September of 2019. What are your takeaways as we sign off here tonight?
My takeaways are really that they just need to be more explosive. Yeah, they played a pretty conservative game, which is to be expected. Anytime you're a favorite, what you want to do is you want the game to go basically to script. You want it to be exactly the way it's supposed to be, and that's kind of the way the Hawks played. It might have been a little bit too conservative. I'd like to see them open it up a little bit more early. We've seen first half struggles these last two games, so going forward, I would expect that.
It's a final from Chaska High School. Once again, Chaska suffers their first loss since September 2019, and the defending state champions are humbled here in Week 3 of this 2020 season. It's a final, 24-14. Please join us for our next home game on November 6th, right back here from Chaska Stadium. It's November 6th versus Apple Valley. It's a 7 o'clock kickoff here from Chaska Stadium. We'll have that one for you at watchchbn.com. Next week, the Hawks are at Chanhassen for the border battle rivalry. We hope you'll join Chanhassen TV for that game next week from Storm Stadium. For Mike Schmidt and Mike York, I'm Ryan Paul saying so long tonight from Chaska High School. The Hawks fall on this Friday night. Have a good night, everybody. Soar Hawks.